Indian fans, welcome to the Buck Van Hust Dome, where at long last the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians and Indians are here back in the friendly confines. For Dobyns Bennett's Lady Indians, it's their first home game since playing a couple of Hall of Champion games on November the 20th here at the Buck Van Hust Dome. For the Dobyns Bennett boys, it's the 2021 home opener, as they've yet to play inside the Buck Van Hust Dome. First up is girls action between the Greeneville Lady Green Devils and your Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians. Lady Indians come in at 5-6 overall, coached by Bill Francis. Greeneville comes in at 9-1, coached by Annette Watts. Got a chance to see Greeneville over the weekend in the Doubletree Round Ball Showcase at Science Hill. Very impressive club. They defeated Science Hill on Saturday 59-56 behind a career-high 37 points from their outstanding junior Lauren Bailey. She goes about 5'10", and she's already got a number of scholarship offers. I know Tusculum is in the books, as well as a couple of others. She was 7 for 7 from the field in the first two periods against the Lady Toppers. And very impressive also, their point guard, Delana DeBusk, does a great job as well. And of course, they're well coached by Annette Watts. Joined now here on the broadcast by my good friend, Mr. Mark Halverson. Mark, welcome in. Good to be here.
Tell you what, it's been a while since we've been back here in the Dome, and certainly the friendly confines for the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians and Indians, who will play a little bit later. But we haven't really had a chance to see much of the Lady Indians. It's kind of a new club, isn't it? A lot of different players from what we've seen the last couple of years, different faces. And a different unit means probably a different style. The last couple of years, they had some guys, girls that can really power up down low and take it to the post. And a little bit different now. This is going to be a team that can shoot it a little bit and try to have to spread the offense in the floor, in the half court, and try to create open opportunities for the perimeter shooters. And I saw them the other night, and when they moved the basketball, it actually worked pretty well, and they got some good looks and made a few. So different styles because of different personnel. So it's going to take a little bit of time for this team to come together, but kind of looking forward to see how it all comes out.
Yeah, Coach Francis has always been about that high-low game. You know, we've had a number of outstanding post players with Courtney Whitson and Caitlin Wallace and Jabria Johnson over the years to work that high-low game. And I know Alexis Hood, the promising sophomore, might fit into that mold, but she's young and inexperienced, and right now they're going to allow the veterans on the perimeter. Olivia Doran, the outstanding senior, has been playing since she was a freshman, really. Caroline Hill, a number of outside players that can get the job done. Now, the Lady Indians did suffer a blow back in the summer when Joy Bristol went down with that knee injury. She's had a knee surgery, and that was, she was going to be counted on very heavily this year.
And, towards the end of last year, she really came on strong, I thought. Very active around the boards. Had a nice up and under game where she could create her own shot in critical situations. They're going to miss her activity on defense and around the glass. And so if she's able to come back, we'll see. But but between now and then, there's going to have to be some that are going to have to fill in. As you mentioned, Alexis Hood may have to come in and play some quality minutes regardless, just by virtue of Enjoy being out. But this team has some shooters, as you mentioned, and as they develop point guard play and as they develop post play, that's what they're going to have to rely on in their offensive sets.
Lady Indians will also be without Madeline Lyons.
According to the rules of the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association, these rules competition among players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship also by observing the rules of fair play. Each one is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this game at a high level of sportsmanship. Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to the Buck Van Hust Dome on the campus of Dobyns Bennett High School for DB Varsity Lady Indians basketball as we host the Lady Green Devils High School. Here's the starting five for the Lady Green Devils, led by head coach Annette Watts, assisted by Renee Skeen and Nicole Dixon. Number 5, Grace Hayes. Number 10, Lauren Bailey. 11, Lindy Carter. 12, Chloe Marsh.
Chloe Marsh.
To Delana DeBusk.
And Delana DeBusk. Oh, we had number 11 come out. I don't have her, Mark.
Nor do I.
And now here's your Lady Indian starting 5. At guard, a senior, number 0,
Out first for Dobyns Bennett will be the
Dora.
senior Olivia Dora.
At guard, number
at
2,
guard, sophomore Caroline
Hill. At guard, sophomore,
At
number
guard,
10,
sophomore Ray
Evans.
Her first career start. Then comes the sophomore Alexis Hood and sophomore Hannah Fry. So Mark, 4 sophomores in the starting unit. Four sophomores and the senior Olivia Doran in the starting unit tonight for the Lady Indians. Hood has started the last 3 or 4 games. Also, really had a good game the other day, I thought, was Cadence Black for Dobyns Bennett coming off the bench.
Yeah,
had a really
she did. She
outstanding
shot
game.
it very well, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing her back out there again.
Lady Indians control the tip out front. This will be Fry. Fry over to Doran. Hill back out top. Hill against a man-to-man defense here of the Lady Green Devils. DeBusk chasing Ray Evans. They'll switch. Doran splits the defense. Drives, will float on the baseline, won't go. Rebounded by Greeneville. That's Lauren Bailey bringing it down. Bailey has it. Leaves it on right wing with Hayes. Hayes cross court to DeBusk, their outstanding point guard. Coach Francis told me before the game he was going to come out and try 2-3 zone. And we'll see how that works against Bailey. Bailey going back door. Instead down low, the pass shot missed by Greeneville, and the shot rebounded by Alexis Hood. With the basketball, this is Fry. Crossover dribble, driving left all the way down. Left-handed shot off the glass, good by Hannah Fry. And the Lady Indians lead it 2-0.
It's a nice little move right down, really strong, right towards the basket down the left side, left hand up off the glass. Good confident move by Hannah Fry.
Bailey has it to DeBusk out front. DeBusk will hand it to Shaw. To Marsh, excuse me. Now back to DeBusk underneath, little scoop shot, no good. Ball tipped around, controlled by Bailey on the baseline. And they say it went off of Dobyns Bennett out of bounds.
A long three-point attempt there by Bailey from the left wing. With long rebound, it came out to DeBusk almost the opposite wing. She's not able to get it to finish.
DeBusk inbounds, another three-point shot from the left wing is going to be short. Rebound underneath Greeneville, shot rejected by Fry, and then Fry grabs a rebound, and it's Dobyns Bennett's basketball. Fry did a good job just going straight up there, Mark, without foul.
Able to block that shot. We don't have number 11's name.
Lady Indians turn it over, however. Inbounding to Greeneville. Driving is Marsh. Marsh forces the shot up. Instead, should be called for the travel.
Full court pressure by the Lady Green Devils. You don't see that very often in the girls' game. But they are so well coached and so stationed beautifully in the way they position themselves.
Lady Indians break it nicely. Doran up to Fry, over to Hill, back to Fry. Fry driving left again, kicks it out to the Doran in the left corner. Good recovery there by the Greeneville defense of Grace Hayes, and so Doran will rotate back out around the screen from Hood. Pulls up, shoots the 17-footer. Going to be short. Hood has the rebound. She'll leave it with Caroline Hill. Hill steps back, her 18-footer in, out, no good. Fighting for the rebound. It will be controlled by Greeneville. For Greeneville, that was Chloe Marsh on the rebound, and the foul called on Alexis Hood, her first, team first. Bailey will throw it in backcourt for the Lady Green Devils. She'll get it to DeBusk. Some light pressure here from Evans. Evans try to get it to Bailey, and it's knocked away. Here comes Caroline Hill for Dobyns Bennett. All the way down, left-hand shot off the glass. Good by Caroline Hill. Off the Lady Green Devil turnover. And it's 4-0 Dobyns Bennett. Marsh all the way down around Hood, and Hood is called for the foul. That's 2 on Alexis Hood.
That's one that can't really get into foul trouble. Not a whole lot of size for the Lady Indians. Hood picking up her second here in the first. 2.5 minutes.
Peyton Moore immediately in for Dobyns Bennett. Cadence Black in as well, as both Hood and Ray Evans go out. 2 more sophomores in the game for Dobyns Bennett. Pass inbounds, floated to Marsh. Marsh had it knocked away, grabbed it back. DeBusk on the left baseline, trapped underneath the basket, nowhere to go, and they say she turned it over to Dobyns Bennett. Good trap down there for them with the Lady Indians.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why Coach Francis put the Lady Indians in the zone is to protect against foul trouble, particularly for Hood. She picks one up on the offensive side, and then another one here on the same possession and one the other way.
Chloe Marsh nearly came up with the turnover for Greeneville, but it said it went off her foot out of bounds. Substitutions now for Greeneville. Kaylee Crumley in the game. Kyla Job, who's a freshman, is in the game. Anna Shaw in the basketball game, as well as Erin Dilchert. Here is Poole around the screen. Moore lost it, saved by Hill. Hill pulls up from 17 feet. Might have got hit on the hand, but the rebound underneath good, as Hannah Fry picked up the offensive board and knocked it home. She's got 4, and it's 6-0 Dobyns Bennett. Now go to Dilchert's throw, pass too strong. Here comes Hill with it. Hill over to Dorn. Dorn's going to take it all the way for the layup. Good by Caroline Hill. Off the feet from Dorn. Timeout. Timeout, Lady Green Devils at the 8-0 start marked by Dobyns Bennett.
Well, Caroline Hill with the nice pick and then run off the steal. And you got to like the way Dorn runs the floor there. And she's able to get it all the way to the basket and finish the 2 to push this lead out to 8. Lady Indians have really come out aggressively and assertively and executed pretty well in the half court. And Coach Francis has always done a good job fundamentally. He's always put his team in positions. They've always done a good job of spreading the floor on offense. And this little weave action that they've been running here tonight has created some open opportunities in the half court. And then a couple of steals that have led to some finishes, enabling this 8-0 game.
So Hill the dish to Dorn, and it's 8-0. Here comes Greeneville with it. Shaw in backcourt. Shaw over to Tamron Ellenberg, who's in the game as well. Job with it, and Job, a 10-second call enacted against the Lady Green Devils.
It's a great call out of the timeout by Coach Francis, going into a full court press against really the second team, if you will, Steve.
Yeah.
And they've made wholesale changes again. Really smart coaching move by Coach Francis. And that ultimately created the turnover.
So the first team back in for Greeneville as well. With the basketball also for Dobyns Bennett in, Shaylin Henson. Henson with the basketball out front, driving left. Hands it on a curl to Black. Black over to Fry. Fry in the corner to Dorn. Will launch a 3-shot by Dorn is good. It's 11-0 Dobyns Bennett.
You can't leave her open in that kind of position.
All the way down for Greeneville on the other end, however, is Hayes with the floater, and it's 11-2. Dorn in backcourt, lost it over to Black near steal. Black saves it. Black in the paint, going to take it all the way, and is tripped and fouled as she goes through the lane. Not sure whether she was going to try to scoop that one up or she's going to kick it over to Henson, who is spotted up in the left corner. Unless a foul on Marsh, her first, team first. They will say that Black was in the act of shooting. 11-2, Dobyns Bennett on top. First free throw by Black is missed.
Something a little unusual you don't see out of free throw shooters all that often, and she's about a foot behind the line. Most of them are towing that line as close as they can get to it. And Cadence is a solid foot behind it.
Shot missed by Black. Rebound chased down by Lauren Bailey. Here's DeBusk, who tried to bang it off of Dorn out of bounds. It didn't go out of bounds, and now DeBusk had to grab it back. Working across the timeline, had it knocked away, stolen by Dobyns Bennett. Dorn picks it up. Here comes Lawson all the way down for the breakaway, but it is blocked out of bounds by the trailing Marsh. Good hustle there by Chloe Marsh.
Yeah, didn't give up on the play after the turnover. The 6th turnover by the Lady Green Devils. The Lady Indian pressure on the ball has been really superior here tonight, as they're giving it all sorts of fits to the Lady Green Devils, trying to get it over the timeline, let alone into their half-court set.
Alexis Hood is back in the game with those 2 personals. Inbounds comes to Henson. Henson on the right wing, driving, kicks it back over to Evans, who's also returned. Evans back to Henson. Henson lobs it down low to Hood. Hood's shot off the glass is missed. And a rebound, another one by Bailey. Bailey up the floor to DeBusk. DeBusk driving on Henson. Henson shuts her down at the baseline. Back to Bailey for three. Shot off the front iron, no good. Rebound underneath by Greeneville. And the putback by Shaw is no good, but she draws a foul. That was on Lawson, her first. Team third. Free throw good by Shaw. Hill and Moore return for Dobyns Bennett. Out will go Cadence Black and Alexis Hood. Second toss by Shaw, no good. Rebound is taken by Moore. She's on the floor. And they say it's knocked out of bounds off of Greeneville. So Moore with the rebound, nearly lost it, but they say it went out of bounds off the Green Devils. Lawson to throw it in, lobs it to Evans. Evans in backcourt, being trapped, needs help. Gets rid of it over here to Lawson, still not across the timeline. She'll lob it to Evans, but it goes out of bounds.
We're going a little bit too fast. One of the things I heard, I don't remember who it was, it's been years ago, about breaking the press is slow down. A lot of teams, they try to speed it up, and that's exactly what the press wants you to do. And in there, they were able to create the turnover. Slow things down. 10 seconds is an eternity. As long as you're moving the ball up the floor, you got plenty of time.
DeBusk over to Ellenberg. Ellenberg tried to get it down low, stolen away by Caroline Hill. Another Greeneville turnover. Here comes Hill with it. Lobs it down to Moore, but it's deflected by Marsh and stolen by the Lady Devils. All the way down. Bailey gives it up ahead to DeBusk for the layup good. And it's 11-5.
Lady Green Devils now creating pressure of their own in the backcourt. Man-to-man pressure against Lady Indians. And a little bit too much of that by DeBusk. She picks up her first foul.
Lady Indians scored the game's first 11 points. Greeneville now has answered with 5 consecutive. It's 11-5. Evans in backcourt being hounded by DeBusk. DeBusk spins right, drives, kicks it over in the corner to Hill. Hill a three from the left corner, no good. Rebound, Bailey fighting for it, and she's got it. Up the far sideline comes Bailey. Bailey's going to take it all the way, leaves it in the corner to Shaw for three is good. Actually, that's Ellenberg. Excuse me, Hayes. I'll get it right in a minute, Mark. Got all that hair in the back, I can't read the uniforms. Anyway, that was Bailey with the assist. Here's Evans over to Henson. Henson back in the corner to Hill.
How many times do you see where one team misses a three and the other team goes up and makes one on the other end? You see it all the time.
Hill with the basketball, driving. Hill all the way to the glass, shot off the glass, no good, but draws a foul. Good aggressive drive.
Yes, you know, at the right wing, she kind of hesitated a little bit to allow the defense to get set and her teammates to get set, and she recognized that diagonal lane wide open. She was able to attack it, not finish it, but able to draw the foul and get to the line.
Free throw by Hill is good. She's got 3. That stops an 8-0 Greeneville run. Dobyns Bennett leading 11-8, or excuse me now 12-8. Free throw by Hill, rims out, no good. Bailey with another rebound.
It's 5 for her.
Bailey has it in front court. Over to DeBusk. 1:30 to go here first quarter. Lady Indians by 4. DeBusk on left wing to Shaw. Shaw back out top to Bailey. Bailey being guarded there by Black. And there's a takeaway by Caroline Hill.
She just ripped that right out of DeBusk's hands.
Hill loops it over to Doran. Doran guarded by Bailey. Doran with a screen by Moore. Doesn't use it. Doran driving to the left. Nearly had her pocket picked, and she did. As this time taking it away was Hayes. All the way down, layup good for Greeneville by Anna Shaw. And it's 12-10. Doran has it. Hill calling for the basketball across the way. Doran couldn't get it to her. Black out front. Black around a Peyton Moore screen, is going to take it all the way, ran into Dobyns. Wild shot. Fry came down with the rebound, and she's fouled on the putback.
Not sure how that's not a foul in the first contact.
You reckon? Bailey's first foul. 14 fouls on Greeneville. Anna Fry's shot is good. She's got 5 here in the first quarter.
Played a nice first quarter for sure. 5 points, 2 rebounds, one of which was offensive. He's done a really nice job.
31.2 seconds to go here in the first period. Second toss is missed by Fry and a rebound. Taken away by Job. There's a long pass in front court. Hayes dishes it over underneath for the layup. Good. Nice feed from Hayes over to Marsh for the basket. And it's 13-12. Doran in backcourt, 12 seconds to go. Loops it to Black. Black over to Fry. Fry in the corner. Moore will line up to 3 from the left corner. It's going to be too strong. Dobyns chases it down in the left corner. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So the Indians start out with an 11-0 run to start the quarter. Greeneville answers with 8 straight. And Dobyns Bennett takes a 1-point lead to quarter number 2. Dobyns Bennett on top 13-12 as you watch your Dobyns Bennett Lady Indians live stream tonight on YouTube. Appreciate the folks here at Dobyns Bennett having your Lady Indian radio broadcast team. Steve Wimbuth and Mark Halverson on the live stream. Hoping you're enjoying the action wherever you may be tonight. But overall, a pretty good first quarter here by these Lady Indians. Game of adjustments, as basketball always is. I think we had some already there in the first quarter, Mark, by both sides.
Yeah, and I think the pressure from both teams has really been kind of the deciding factor on some of the results. The Indians came out with it, and it kind of surprised the Green Devils. And then recently, over the last 2 or 3 minutes, the Green Devils have returned the favor, and their pressure has resulted in some turnovers. 4 for the Indians, Lady Indians in the first quarter, 8 for the Lady Green Devils. That's a ton of turnovers that needs to be cleaned up, and it's important for the Lady Indians to take care of the ball. They can ill afford to lose possessions for a couple of reasons. One is they need them the opportunities, but 2, that gives the Lady Green Devils chances to score in transition. They've done just that a couple of times off the miscues.
We start quarter number 2. Dobyns has a basketball. Shaw is in there as well. Hayes has it on right wing. Job stays in a basketball game. And I believe that's Dobyns. Yep, Dobyns driving, shooting, and scoring.
Yeah, good hesitation move there into the lane. Little change of pace. That allowed the defender to kind of lose their footing, and then Dobyns up and under for 2 and a 1-point Green Devil lead.
Cadence Black, Hannah Fry, Alexis Hood, Olivia Doran, and Ray Evans. And there's Dobyns with the steal, and it's going to take it all the way down ahead to Job, who's fouled on the attack.
Yeah, that tandem trapping defense right as they cross the timeline has really given the Lady Indians fits here recently. They can't pick up your dribble once you get into that pressure. Or you've got to recognize the pressure, the double team, and you got to get rid of the ball sooner than that. As Job misses the first of 2 off the foul by Olivia Doran.
Job with the second toss. Shot is good, and Greeneville leads it 15-13. It's an overall 15-2 run now by the Lady Devils after Dobyns Bennett scored the first 11. There is Fry with a nice little Euro step, but missed the layup. And the rebound coming to Greeneville.
Yeah, one of those, you talk about going up the left side, left hand, and that shot right there, I almost wonder if she would have been better shooting it with her dominant side, which is the right hand.
Dobyns with the pull-up 15-footer. Shot is short. Doran with the air ball rebound. Bringing it back for Dobyns Bennett. Doran driving right all the way through. Shot out the glass. Won't fall, but she draws a foul. Kyla Job, her first. Team 5th. So Doran the line for 2 shots. 5 team fouls for the Lady Devils. 5 different Lady Devils with fouls. Doran's free throw is missed short. Hill and Lawson back in for Dobyns Bennett. Evans and Hood will go out.
2 for 7 for Lady Indians from the line. And those are critical point opportunities that they can't allow to slip away. And in a game like this where you know everyone matters.
Doran missed that one as well. Rebound comes down to Marsh. Marsh to DeBusk. Over it goes to Shaw. Back to DeBusk. DeBusk trapped. Dribbles nicely through it. Pass in the corner to Bailey. Bailey. In the paint to Marsh. Marsh shoots and scores and is fouled. Chloe Marsh.
It's a really tough power move right in between 2 Lady Indian defenders. Was able to get it just enough English up off the glass for it to roll in off the front of the rim.
Free throw is good by Marsh, who's got 5, and it's 18-13. Here's Fry muscling her way down the floor, shot off the side of the backboard, ball tipped around, controlled by Greeneville. Marsh again. Marsh the outlet too far. Turnover Green Devils. Cadence Black picks it up. She has it to Fry. Fry needs some help, gets it to Doran. Doran backs it back out. Doran driving right against DeBusk in the corner to Hill for a 3 shot by Hill. Good.
Yeah, that's a much needed bucket. All started by the penetration and kick out by Olivia Doran to a wide open corner 3 by Caroline Hill. It's a nice play and got it into the hands of the right shooters. Caroline Hill, one of their better 3-point marksmen.
DeBusk around the screen. She'll fire a 3. Rebound tipped out, controlled by Doran. Lawson in front court had it stolen away by Shaw. Greeneville has it now. Greeneville. Here's Hayes, a 3 from the left wing. Off the glass. Good. I'm not sure she called that. But she got it off the glass to go. She's got 8, and it's 21-16. Lawson. Out to Fry out top, and Dobyns Bennett's Lady Indians. Coach Bill Francis wants a 30-second timeout. 21-16, Dobyns Bennett on top. Lady Indians, we mentioned, scored 11 straight. Greeneville answered with an 18-2 run. Make it 18-13. Now it's still a 5-point deficit at 21-16 for Dobyns Bennett.
7 turnovers for Lady Indians, and the last 5 have resulted in about, I think it's 8 points. And again, both teams have kind of struggled with the turnover, but when you're able to turn the ball over and then turn it into points, that's the critical aspect, and that's what the Lady Green Devils have been able to do.
And Greeneville has cleaned up their turnovers.
And they've kind of cleaned those up. They had 8 in the first quarter and only 1 here in the last, well, certainly this quarter, but about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 2 minutes or so of the first.
Evans for Dobyns Bennett, dribbling against DeBusk. Here comes the trap. She gets it to Henson. Henson to Fry. Fry driving left, leaves it with Hill. A 3 from the left wing by Hill, no good. Rebound by Alexis Hood. Her shot off the glass won't go. Tipped away. Hood has it again. Can't get it to go. Rebound underneath. That time Fry, she missed it. She's got the rebound again, and we're going to have a jump ball call, and it will stay with Dobyns Bennett. Get all those rebounds, Mark?
I guess I don't know.
I think there was 2 by Hood and 2 by Fry.
Yeah, and really pretty good possession there by the Lady Indians. What more can you want? You got a nice open 3 and then 2 or 3 putback opportunities.
Inbounds from Evans to Hill. Crumbly has returned for Greeneville. Hill out top, gets a screen, around the screen, pulls up, shoots the 3. Oh, excuse me, count it, make it a 2-pointer for Hill.
Yeah, I think she was on the line, just on the line. I would have preferred to be about 4 inches deeper, but pretty good looking stroke off the ball screen at the top.
DeBusk lobs it down to Bailey, stolen away by Dobyns Bennett. With the steal is Hill. Hill up the near sideline, runs into Hayes, loops it back out top to Fry. Fry to Evans in the corner. Henson lobs it to Hood. Hood back to Henson. She'll line up a 3 from the right corner. Good by Shaylin Henson. Off the assist from Hood, and we're tied at 21.
You know, I don't think she really wanted to take that shot in the initial pass from Hood, and then got it right back and said, you know what, I'm open, I'm going to fire it. And really good looking stroke by Henson. Much needed bucket by the Indians to tie this thing up.
Bailey for Greeneville pulls up and shoots the 15-footer, and it's no good. Henson the rebound. Crumbly called for the foul. Her first, team sixth. So Dobyns Bennett has it in rear court. Tied at 21. 4:05 to go here in the first half. Hannah Fry, they work it in for Dobyns Bennett. Fry to Hill. Here comes the Greeneville trap. Hill picks up the dribble, gets it ahead to Fry. Fry flits two defenders. Alexis Hood back to Evans. Evans in the corner. Down low to Hood. Hood shot off the backboard is good off a nice feed from Peyton Moore.
Yeah, and that's what ball reversal does. The ball was swung reverse to the left side and then down in the corner. That left Hood wide open as the defense unable to switch for an easy bucket and a 2-point Indian lead.
Ellenberg had the ball for Greeneville, back to DeBusk. Shaw out front. Hayes works it down low, muscling a shot up there, missed by Marsh, but picked up there by Ellenberg, and her 15-foot putback is good by Tamron Ellenberg. And we're tied at 23. Evans to Hill, right corner for three. No good. DeBusk wins the battle for the loose ball, and she'll clang it off the knee of Evans out of bounds. Cadence Black and Doran back in.
Yeah, Lady Indians racing the ball up the floor to beat this press once they get into the open pocket. And I like that because that leaves open three-point shooters because you've got matchup advantages. And Caroline Hill not able to knock that down, but I'll take that shot all day long.
Shaw against the Lady Indians half-court trap, and it's knocked out of bounds by the leaping Jaden Lawson.
And that's the risk you take when you want to put on a press. Is the opposing team, if they know what they're doing, they can get themselves spread into an offensive set, and you can get an easy shot off. And then it's just a matter of making them. And that's what the Lady Indians were able to do with the movement, but not able to knock it down.
Ellenberg over to DeBusk. DeBusk back to Ellenberg in the right corner. DeBusk now again. DeBusk against Doran. There's Ellenberg working against Lawson. She's going to pull up and shoot the three over her. Good by Ellenberg. She's got 5 off the bench. Doran driving. Henson in the right corner. Won't shoot. Henson to Black on a curl. Black draws 2 defenders. Splits them in the lane. Lost the dribble. Kicks it back out here to Lawson. Back to Henson. Henson tried to use a Moore screen. Good defense by Shaw. Here's Lawson. She'll leave it for Black for 3 from the left wing. In, out, no good. Rebound Doran. Came around everybody. Pick up the offensive board. She'll put it up from 17. Good for Olivia Doran. 26-25, Greeneville leads. Pass down low. Spinning is Marsh. Marsh. I think she had it knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Greeneville. Fry returning for Lawson. I think Dobyns Bennett has left the zone defense here in the last few possessions after that timeout and gone mainly man.
Well, they are here. The zone has actually worked. I think it's frustrated the penetration efforts of the Lady Green Devils.
Driving Shaw down low, nice feed.
Yeah, that was a nice ball movement there by DeBusk.
Over to Marsh.
And they may want to go back to the zone and kind of pick that man apart right there with a couple inner screens.
28-25. Here's a steal by Shaw. Shaw gets it to Ellenberg. Ellenberg backs up. She'll shoot another 3. Short, tipped, and it's Cadence Black coming up with it. 28-25, 1:18 to go first half. Black going right, guarded by Shaw in the corner. This is Moore. Moore goes right around the defender. Baseline, kiss it off the glass. Good by Peyton Moore.
They opened up the baseline for her, and she went ahead and took it, and then a nice little jump into the lane to create the angle off the glass. And back to a 1-point deficit by the Lady Indians, who have really fought themselves back into this. You thought, Steve, there was a minute there that Lady Green Devils want to run away with it.
The bust to Ellenberg. Her long 3 is missed. Doran with another rebound. Doran across the timeline, and she's fouled. That's not a good foul at midcourt because that's team foul number 7. And that will send Doran to the line for 1 plus, although the Lady Indians haven't been proficient from the foul line yet tonight.
2 for 8 from one. They're really playing very, very well tonight against a very good club, the Greeneville Green Devils. The Lady Indians have played exceptionally well, moving the ball in their half court. They just temper the turnovers a little bit.
Free throw by Doran is good. She's got 8 in the game. And we're tied at 28. 45.2 seconds to go here in the half. Second toss by Doran, missed. And the rebound underneath is grabbed by Marsh. She'll give it to DeBusk. DeBusk up the floor to Bailey. Bailey lobs it down underneath to Ellenberg. Ellenberg can't shoot, back to DeBusk. DeBusk to Bailey, working on the right low block, muscling away again. Peyton Moore, against Peyton Moore, draws a foul. And so Bailey, coming off that 37-point effort against Science Hill on Saturday, yet to score here, has a chance to get in the book with 2 free throws.
I thought that was pretty good defense. I'm not sure what they expected her to do. I mean, her hands were straight up. It was just good body contact. I think it was just one of those. To me, it's a no call. There's no foul on either player. Just Marsh missed the shot, but she made the first of 2 and made the second.
30-28. Doran. 3-on-2. Doran in the corner. Fry won't shoot. Back to Hill. Hill to Evans. They swing it in the left corner. Moore drives that baseline, spinning into paint. Shot no good, but draws a foul.
Very aggressive move there by Moore off the feed in the corner. And she went baseline again and kind of spun aggressively in the middle of the lane. A little bit out of control, but was able to draw the foul.
Also, the second foul on Bailey. Free throw by Moore is missed. What's that now?
It's 3 of 11, yes.
Second toss missed as well. Rebound by Bailey. Bailey to DeBusk. 8 seconds. DeBusk driving all the way through. Shot off the glass. Good by Delana DeBusk. 2 seconds, 1 second, and the Lady Indians are not going to be able to get a shot off. So Greeneville scores the last 4 points of the first half, and the Greeneville Green Devils, Lady Green Devils, lead at halftime here, 32-28. as our score at halftime. You're watching the Dobyns Bennett Lady Indian Basketball live stream on YouTube. Appreciate the folks here, Jimmy Burleson and company. Athletic Director Frankie DeBusk allowing ESPN Tri-Cities to be a part of the live stream here this evening. We'll be here throughout the boys game as well. Don't forget, Friday night here at the Buck Van Hust Dome, 7:30, boys varsity action only against Science Hill. I think there's a JV boys game as well at 6. As far as varsity action, it's boys only against Science Hill on Friday nights. Next Monday and Tuesday, the Alpha Invitational will be held here at the Dobyns Bennett Buck Van Hust Dome. Teams from Lexington, South Carolina, Chapmanville, West Virginia, AC Reynolds out of Asheville, North Carolina, South Atlanta out of Atlanta, Georgia, along with Morristown East, Clinton, Greeneville, Dobyns Bennett, and Daniel Boone. 9 boys teams in total, 4 games each day. Going to be a great event. There's some outstanding talent coming into the Buck Van Hust Dome next Monday and Tuesday. And then next Thursday, December 23rd, the varsity boys and girls games against Gate City have been moved up. The girls will tip at 3 on that Thursday afternoon. The boys at 4:30 against the Blue Devils of Gate City here at the Buck Van Hust Dome, and that will take us into the Christmas break. Dobyns Bennett boys going to the next level Hoop Fest in Nashville. That's hosted by Christ Presbyterian Academy, a tournament started by a former CPA coach and Vanderbilt star Drew Maddox. Meanwhile, the Lady Indians are going to Tampa, the Tampa Bay Invitational. I think those brackets are out. I haven't seen who they will play. But both teams getting a chance to spend the holidays out of town on great trips, holiday excursions, and that's your schedule the rest of the way for both the Indians and the Lady Indians of Dobyns Bennett. Friday night as well will be the commemorative Douglas versus Langston game, as we recognize the Douglas High School, former Douglas High School in Kingsport, and Langston High School in Johnson City on Friday night as well. It's always a fabulous event, a chance to recognize those two schools. 32-28 here at halftime. Lady Indians on top. They started on an 11-0 run. Led it 11-0, then Greeneville answered with 8 straight. Indians got on the board with a couple of free throws. It was 12-8 and then 13-10. And then Greeneville at one point made it 18-13. After that 11-0 run, Greeneville answered with an 18-2 run of its own. Dobyns Bennett came back to tie it on a three-pointer at 21-21 by Hill. It was 23-23. Greeneville led it 28-25. Dobyns Bennett fought back, a bucket by Moore, a free throw by Doran. But then Lauren Bailey hit 2 free throws to Busk, a driving layup for the final 4 points of the first half, and that's how we stand here at halftime, 32-28. Mark has given me the thumbs up.
Well, I'm a little bit short on points here for some reason, but we'll give it a shot. First of all, for the Lady Green Devils, 12 in the first quarter, 20 in the second. That's a total of 32. They were 9 for 15 inside the arc, 3 for 10 outside. That's 12 for 25 overall, 4 for 6 in the line, a total of 10 turnovers. They had 18 rebounds. To go along with, I've got 6 assists and 5 steals. Leading scorers were both Chloe Marsh and Grace Hayes, each with 8. 6 by DeBusk, 5 by Ellenberg, and 3 by Shaw. And again, I think I'm missing something. Oh, 2 by Kyla Joe. So we'll get that corrected, but for the time being, that's the 32 for the Lady Green Devils. So Lady Indians, 13 in the first, came out really playing well. As you mentioned, Steve, scored the first 8. 13 in the first quarter, 15 in the second, total of 28 for the half. They were 9 of 20 inside the arc, 3 of 8 outside. That's 12 of 28 overall. 3 for 12 from the line. That's been the killer. Only 3 made free throws for the Lady Indians out of 12 attempts. 14 rebounds, so they were out-rebounded 18-14. 8 overall turnovers for the Lady Indians in that first half. Led in scoring, Doran and Caroline Hill each had 8. 5 by Fry, 4 by Hood, and 2 by Peyton Moore. And that's your 28. So here we are at halftime. It's a 32-28 lead by the Lady Green Devils. You missing a point too?
No. I think I've got the right number of points. I may not have them on the right line. I've got Moore 2. How many did you say Hood had? 2 for Hood.
4 for Hood.
4 for Hood. How many for Fry?
5.
5. Hill had
because they've got a couple that can really deliver it. Doran and Hill for sure, but Caden Black had a couple of made threes the other night at Science Hill, and the player they're really missing right now, I think, is Enjoy Bristol. Yeah. She was going to give them that paint presence, that rim protection, the athleticism around the rim, really can get after those loose balls, her defense, and I'm not sure how far along she is in her rehab. She's out of her brace, so she's walking, but that was going to be a piece of the puzzle that was going to be really vital to Coach Francis and his staff. So they're going to have to kind of makeshift it and work around her loss and see if they can come up with something internally to protect those penetration drives. But if they do that, their perimeter game's in good shape.
The other day on our broadcast, we were talking about some of the recent losses suffered by the Dobyns Bennett family. We mentioned Scat Springs and Rodney Bly. A lot of times here in the Dome, we can look over and have a good time with old Chuckster here in the building. Chuck's no longer with us either. We miss him. Interesting guy for sure, but always brought some energy in the building, didn't he?
You know what? And he was loved by so many.
Yeah.
He had that personality, and he's going to be missed for sure. Yeah.
Also, I heard before the game that Lady Indian Allison Salyer lost her father right before Thanksgiving as well. I did not know that. Green Photography told me that. So, holidays are tough enough. We wish all those folks the best, certainly thinking about you. They're going through that situation. 32-28, both teams returning to the floor here at the start of the second half here momentarily.
Yeah, I know, in the livelihood that I'm in, all the devastation in Kentucky and those states, those 5 states really got hit incredibly hard. And the story I read was 30 tornadoes at one point. I read today or heard today, maybe from some of our executives, that it was the worst tornado in 96 years. And I saw some pictures, and State Farm sent me some as well, and it's you can't even imagine it. I mean, pictures as well as they can paint a picture. It's hard to imagine what those folks are going through. I mean, we're talking about communities, towns that are leveled, gone. Buildings that normally are standing 30, 40 feet are 8, 10 inches off the ground of nothing but rubble.
Wow.
Your heart bleeds for those folks, those that certainly lost their lives, but those that are having to put puzzles back together, and you can't find all the pieces to do it.
Loss of lives, the numbers I saw were tragically bad. You see those pictures and you can't believe there wasn't more, right?
Yeah, and I don't know that the numbers will actually be totaled in finality for another week or two.
Yeah. Of course, that was going on Saturday, wasn't it? While we were over at Science Hill, that's weather Saturday. You just knew something wasn't right.
Something was weird.
Yes.
And we're looking outside. You literally couldn't see 5 feet past the door.
Well, it was so warm that morning. And you knew there was a threat of storms, and you're like, you don't want to see it get that warm that quick.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It's never a good combination. No. Well, the Lady Indians certainly started pretty warm here at the 11-0 run, but Greeneville has bounced back and lead it by 4 as we get ready for the start of the second quarter.
And really the key to the comeback, I think, is they've limited their turnovers. Only 2 in the second quarter versus 8 in the first. And that's kind of limited the Lady Indians to those transition points. But they've still held their own. The last minute or so that second quarter to allow the 4-point spread after battling back, which I thought they were in trouble.
Yeah.
They got down a little bit, and I thought, this game could get out of hand quickly. And they stayed with it. And on both ends, they're defended, they're boxing out. And offensively, they're moving the basketball and creating opportunities. So, pretty good night so far. Pretty good ball game. Shaw,
DeBusk, Bailey, Marsh, and Hayes back out there for the Lady Green Devils. Doran, Hill, Alexis Hood, a shot is missed by Greeneville. Rebound comes down to Marsh. Fry and Evans starting for the Lady Indians. So Marsh with the offensive rebound should go to the line for 2 shots. Free throw, the foul was on Olivia Doran, her second.
And kind of a broken play there by Grace Hayes, who was able to come in and find a little pocket to make that shot. And I think that caught Hood off guard a little bit. If she's not able to get position to get the rebound, and then Marsh, as she gathers it, is able to go up and draw the foul against Fry.
Free throw by Marsh is good.
Did they call that off Doran?
They called it on Doran, and then Bailey is called for a foul on the back. Wow, that's pretty tough right there. I don't know if she got 2 hands in the back or not. It looked like the rebound kind of came off pretty deep.
Yeah.
That's 3 fouls on Bailey. And it's 33-28 as Marsh goes 1 for 2. Heel has it. Heel wants to go left, reverses right. Well, the Lady Green Devils were kind of in a zone mark. Hood dumps it from the high post down low to Fry, back to Evans, in the corner to Doran for 3 and out. No good. Rebound.
Gracious, that thing went all the way down. How'd that thing not stay?
Really. DeBus driving. DeBus back door to Bailey. Bailey all the way down, missed the layup, but drew a foul on Hannah Fry.
I think if Fry just kept their arm straight up, I don't think the call happened. But as soon as the arm came down, not much contact, but enough to warrant the call.
Her shot by Bailey is good. She's got 3. Yet to have a field goal in the basketball game. Second toss by Bailey is good. She's going to go out with those 3 fouls, however, but her team leads by 7. At 35-28, biggest lead of the game now for Greeneville. Fry inbounds to Evans, over to Hill. Back to Evans, soft pressure here from DeBus. Hill has it once more. Between the rings. Hill going left, bumped, Doran has it. High post Hood, she'll shoot the 15-footer, left it short. Rebound, Evans comes in to take it away. In the corner, Doran launches a 3, and it's good.
How she and Hill shoot this half, I think, will go a long way in determining the outcome of this game. Both need to make some shots.
Shaw's shot no good. 2 Lady Indians fighting for it, and it goes out of bounds to Greeneville. 35-31 the count. Inbounds, Greeneville has it. DeBusk in the far right corner. She'll bring it back out top. Lady Indians staying in the man-to-man defense. Hayes driving. She'll hand it to Shaw. Back to DeBusk. DeBusk around the screen. Pulls up for 17 feet. In, out, no good. Rebound ripped down by Fry. Fry to Evans. Lady Indians in transition. Evans driving left. Doran on a curl, picked up by DeBusk. Doran drives back door to Hill. 12-footer on the right baseline, too strong. Rebound taken by Shaw.
Shaw's been battling all night long. Really physical player. A nice feed there.
Shaw takes the rebound, drives it all the way down, and leaves it with DeBusk for the left-hand layup good. And it's 37-31. Lobs it down low and intended for Hood, and they're going to call a foul, I think, on Marsh.
Actually, I think I like that call. She was trying to deny the pass entry into Hood, but her left hand was kind of hooking or holding Hood, and probably the right call.
Evans inbounds out top to Doran. Collision with Shaw, but Doran comes down with it. She'll loop it to Fry, top of the key. Around the Hood screen, in the corner to Hill.
Yeah, they switched that screen really nicely there. Here the communication. They called for the switch and did that nicely to prevent the opening off the ball screen.
Hill to Evans. Evans and a illegal screen called by Dobyns Bennett. Three fouls on Doran, too. I don't know, that was weak sauce in my opinion.
wasn't even really near the ball. She was just trying to create space to get out to the wing.
So Dobyns has it. High post, back to Dobyns. Driving through the lane, somehow got through there, twisting, turning. Dobyns scores, she's got 10. And the lead has grown to 8 at 39-31.
Nice little pocket pass there by Marsh, creating that very little opportunity. And Dobyns able to gather it and go up off the glass high and finish it.
Black has come in for Doran. Out top it goes to Hill. Thought about a 3, driving. 15-footer, might have been blocked.
It was blocked.
And a rebound taken away by Hayes. All the way down. Shaw's shot might have been blocked out of bounds by Hill on the trail. Hood goes out. Hill goes out. Henson and Peyton Moore in for Dobyns. 39-31, Greeneville on top. 4:28 to go third quarter. Inbounds. Shot is good. Lindy Carter at the left-hand basket off the inbounds feed. And the lead is now 41-31. Moore driving, spinning on the baseline, out front to Fry. Fry puts the ball on the ground and she's tied up. Carter stuck her hands in there and tied it up, but it will stay with Dobyns Bennett. Mark, kind of a crucial juncture here. Down 10 with 4 to go
down
into
10,
third.
and your 2 leading scorers on the bench right now. A little surprised that Hill went out after Doran had to leave with the foul trouble. As Hill can kind of tighten things up with a couple of made distance shots.
Black driving, and a holding foul will be called on Greeneville.
I think that's Shaw. She's a really physical player, not afraid to get into you, and on both ends really attacks. Just a little bit too much contact there, drawing the foul. Her first.
Inbounds comes to Henson. Fry top of the key, leaves it with Evans. Evans to the paint, back to Black. She'll fire a 3 from the right wing, going to be no good. Rebound taken by Greeneville. All the way down, Hayes with the lead pass, and Hayes knocks it down. And it's 43-31. In the corner, Moore. Moore back to Fry. She'll line up the 3 from top of the key. It won't fall. Rebound is the battle won by Marsh. Here comes Hayes all the way down. Hayes in the paint, leaves it for the trailing Marsh, no good. Rebound by Carter, and she's fouled on the putback.
Pretty good ball movement right there internally as Hayes had it with a little shovel pass, created an opportunity. Kind of been out of that low block action.
Carter's free throw is good.
She's got 3 for the night. Again, you kind of go back to the first half with all the missed free throws. That could have really kept the Indians in a lead, and even with this run still in it. Carter makes a second.
45-31 now. Doran in backcourt, who's returned for Dobyns Bennett. Doran driving right. Double team, gets it down low to Hood, but it's knocked away. Now a jump ball, and it will go to Greeneville on the Dobyns Bennett turnover.
2 turnovers this quarter for the Lady Indians. It's 10 for the night.
Dobyns over to Shaw. Shaw back to Dobyns. Across the timeline. Loops it to Hayes. Trying to get it down low to Marsh, but it's tipped away right over on the backside to Carter, who knocks it down, and it's 47-31.
That wasn't the target. She wasn't the target, but she was the recipient in an easy bucket.
Doran spinning, pulls up from 15, shot no good. Rebound by Hayes. Here come the Lady Greeneville again. Devils again. Pass up the floor, intercepted by Peyton Moore on the turnover. Moore coming back for Dobyns Bennett. She's taking all the way to the rim. No good, but draws a foul.
Suddenly the pressure of the Lady Green Devils have prevented the Lady Indians from really getting in much of a half court. A lot of it's isolation, a lot of dribbling and attacking. They're not able to really get the spread going. Credit the Lady Green Devils for their pressure half court.
3 fouls on Hayes. Free throw by Moore is missed. For Greeneville, Hayes has 3, Bailey has 3. For Dobyns Bennett, Doran has 3, and Fry has 3. Hill is back in for Dobyns Bennett. Ellenberg has returned for Greeneville. Free throw good by Moore. Dobyns Bennett finally makes a foul shot. 47-32. Carter and DeBusk go ahead and catch that. Ball's tipped. And collision over here. Ball did not go out of bounds. Henson races over to grab it for Dobyns Bennett. Up the floor to Doran. Doran to Hill in the corner for 3. Shot no good. Rebound's knocked out of bounds nearly, but saved by Shaw. Actually, that was not Shaw. That was DeMartin. Delana DeMartin. And on the other end, Greeneville called for the charge. Shaw called for charging. Dobyns Bennett will have it down 15, 47-32. Lanings have only scored 4 points here in the quarter, 1 field goal, that being the 3 by Doran. Hill driving left in the corner, it goes to Henson. Henson will circle back out top, all the way around to the right side. Tried to hand it to Doran and knocked away, ball on the floor, picked up, stolen by Greeneville, but then restolen by Hill, takes it to the right, misses the left-handed layup. Ball goes out of bounds, saved by Dobyns Bennett. Hill has it again. And tried to get it down low. I'm not sure to who. It's thrown out of bounds.
Just kind of went a little bit too fast there, trying to create something that didn't exist. A little bit out of control, throwing it out of bounds to nobody. But Lady Indians are fighting. You got to give them credit for that. They're just, the Green Devils, they're able to execute just a tad more on their defense.
DeBusk to Shaw, back to DeBusk. DeBusk and the paint. Little 12-foot pull-up by DeBusk, no good. And rebound is taken by Jaden Lawson. Lawson up the floor to Henson. Henson tried to rip it in the corner over to Hill, but it's knocked away and out of bounds from behind with the trailing Anna Shaw.
We talk a lot about the importance of deflections. It kind of forces you to reset and allows the defense to reset. That matchup advantage to the Lady Indians negated because of the deflection out of bounds. The inbounds pass.
Doran inbounds to Lawson. Lawson, Hill in the left corner. Hill to the left elbow, gives it to Henson. Henson attacks the paint, kick out to Lawson. Lawson, no go, they're going back to Henson. Henson to Lawson between the rings. 48 seconds to go here in the period. Lawson now driving, and she's bumped by Carter. Didn't want that foul called, Mark. 16 foul on Green. Doran goes out. Evans back in. 45.3 seconds to go here in the quarter. Evans. Inbounding pass, and the ball is thrown away. It's going to come all the way down in front of us and goes out of bounds to Greeneville. Ball was never touched, so they'll throw it in from backcourt.
4 turnovers this quarter for Lady Indians, 12 for the game. 12 to 13 actually for the Lady Green Devils. They had 10 in the first half.
DeBusk over to Shaw, back to DeBusk. DeBusk double team, flopped it to Shaw. High post, turn around shooting the 15-footer. Martin is missing. Got her own rebound, and she's fouled on the put. No, they called her for travel.
For a foul, yeah.
Martin called for the travel. 29.2 seconds to go here, quarter number 3. 47-32, Greeneville leading. Caroline Hill across the timeline. Lawson in the corner. It goes to Moore. Moore won't shoot. Back to Evans. Evans to Lawson. Lawson around the Moore screen, and that's a block on Moore.
Really impressed with the reaction of the Lady Green Devils. On the skip passes, they're able to really hustle and close out, preventing any real action off of the off those skip passes. They've done a really good job of moving in this zone, not allowing lanes for passes or for penetration by the Lady Indians. So
I thought that was a good call.
That was a good call there.
Yeah. Here's Martin, 16-footer, is missed as the third quarter comes to a close. End of the third quarter finds Greeneville leading Dobyns Bennett 47-32.
Lady Green Devils really dominated on the boards. We'll get the numbers here a little bit later, but you know, there was a couple of flurries where the Lady Indians had some second chance opportunities, but by and large, it's been one and done for the Lady Indians here tonight. Just superior board work by the Lady Green Devils, really limiting any second chance opportunities. Just haven't really converted on the three-point attempts. Caroline Hill has got to make shots. There's no doubt about it. She's got a good stroke and not one of her better nights from the perimeter. But really the key is, and we've talked about it over and over, is the missed free throws. You know, that just kind of kills the momentum when you're in a half court or you're in a play and you're able to create a foul and get a shot off, even if you don't make the shot. Not able to convert those free throws is really come back to haunt you, and I think it has here. It may not have led them to a victory, but it certainly keeps you in it from a competitive standpoint.
Dobyns Bennett with possession. We start quarter number 4. Evans, Fry, Doran, Hill, and Hood. Here comes a double team, and Bailey comes up with the steal for Greeneville. Bailey over to Dobyns. Dobyns driving, shot off the glass, no good. And the rebound came to Doran. Doran up the floor to Hill in the right corner. Hill to Doran. Long three from the left wing by Doran will be short. Hood, the rebound, and she's fouled by Grace Hayes. That will be 4 on Hayes.
A little bit out of Olivia's range there. You can see how she got way down and tried to get her legs into it, recognizing the 24-footer just a little bit short, but Hood able to gather it and not quite able to get the shot off out of the push from Hayes, who picks up her 4th foul.
Free throw by Hood is no good. And a Shaw returning for Greeneville.
Shaw's forte, as we've talked about, is her physicality, but she really can defend. She defends the ball without fouling. She's only had 1 foul tonight and has been very active on that front side with her defense as she enters the game.
Hood misses the free throw. Rebound by Marsh. She's got a Marsh for rebounds. All the way down, wide open underneath. Feed from Dobyns to Carter.
It's 4 assists
right over the press that time. 49-32. 17-point lead for Greeneville. Doran around the screen from Hood. Doran leads it for Hill. He won't shoot from the right corner. Hill looking inside the Hood, instead cross court to Evans. Evans. Hill goes through right to left. Bailey trailing her. She'll hand her off to Hill. Hill. That is stolen away from Dobyns. Dobyns steals it away. Dobyns over to Bailey. Bailey for the layup. Good. That's her first field goal of the game.
Yes, it is. And that is 5 assists now for Dobyns.
Hood beats everybody down the floor for the layup. Good. It's 51-34. Bailey going to take it in. Shot no good. A foul called on Fry. And it will be 4 on her.
Dobyns is really, really good. She keeps her head up. Her eyes are forward. She sees her teammates. Even there, able to make the kind of the semi-baseball pass off the run into the hands of Bailey, and not able to convert, but draws the foul. And able to convert the free throw. She's 5 for 5 from the line to go along with her first field goal that you just mentioned in the previous possession.
Second shot. That one no good. Fry had it knocked out of her hands to Doran. Doran with it over to Fry. 52-34. Hill between the rings. Hill, crossover, going left to Dorn. Dorn fakes to three, drives to the foul line, picked up by Shaw. Dorn will now bring it back out, and Shaw knocked it away and stole it. Shaw's going to take it all the way to the left-hand layup, good by Shaw, and it's a 20-point game now at 54-34.
Just impressive. Heads-up defense right there, just kind of chest to chest. Swipes it away from Dorn and finishes it all the way to the other end.
DeBusk working against Evans, and she's going to be called for the foul.
Just tenacious, hawking defense by those two. DeBusk on the front along with Anna Shaw. They just do a great job of just staying with you. They're quick enough to move laterally, so they can, as a result, they can take chances. They can take chances on steals, on deflections, knowing that they can react and get back to it without getting beat going the other direction. And just two really good top ball defenders.
1+1 for Ray Evans, who shot no good. Hit the backboard and off the rim, no good. Rebound came down to Marsh again. DeBusk has it. DeBusk in the corner. Bailey, a wide open three, short. Rebound by Moore. I can't believe she missed that. Evans for Dobyns. Spinning. Evans over to Dorn, whips it in the corner to Black, who's returned for Dobyns. Back over to Evans, back to Black. Driving is Moore. Moore spinning, shut down by Marsh. Back in the corner, it goes for three. By Dorn is no good, and Black comes in to knock it out of bounds to Greeneville.
That's the fifth team rebound. The Lady Green Devils tonight. I thought Dorn maybe rushed that shot just a hair, Steve, just when she caught it as the closeout came. Didn't quite get set. That's normally money over there in the corner. She's a really good corner three from either side.
DeBusk on the drive. Hands it to Carter. Carter forces her way in there. Misses a shot. Dorn with the rebound. And then in backcourt, DeBusk takes it away, and she'll get it over to Bailey for the layup good. DeBusk's got a bunch of steals now and a bunch of assists. 56-34.
I got her with 5 steals and 6 assists. She may have had a couple more assists.
Dorn.
Hard to keep all that stuff.
Yeah. Pull up 15-footer.
That's a good shot. I like that play. Trying to off that wheel effort there, kind of the curl, and you know the defender thinks she's going to continue on and hand it off, and she just stops and pops and delivers that from right around the free throw line for a nice bucket. She's got, let's see, I've got it for 13.
Makes it a 20-point game again, and now we call timeout. Dobyns Bennett scored the first 11 points of this game. It's been 56-25 since. 56-23 before that bucket.
And part of that was due to some Green Devil turnovers, but since then it's been defensively all Lady Green Devils. They just got, you know, I'm not sure what happened, but somebody told them something, and they have really picked up the pressure and the tenacity. And when you've got two who can really defend the top, that creates all sorts of problems because it prevents the opposing team from really getting any flow in their half court. And DeBusk and Shaw are so good at defending the ball and pressuring, not allowing those easy passes to start the offense.
DeBusk has a basketball out front for Greeneville. DeBusk over to Bailey. Bailey on right wing. Bailey will shoot a 22-footer, no good. Rebound, Marsh has it. Marsh to Carter, back to Bailey. Bailey driving. Bailey's going to take it all the way. Shot off the glass, good by Bailey. 58-36. Black for Dobyns Bennett. Back to Moore. Moore to Black. Black spinning on Shaw, and she's called for the travel. Actually, they called her for the charge. Charge. Walk, yes. Charge, no.
Correct.
17 fouls on Dobyns Bennett. 3:35 to go. Driving is DeBusk. Back out to Shaw. Shaw to Marsh. Bailey has it. Shaw around the screen. Can't shoot. Gives it back to Bailey. Bailey back out. Three-pointer by Bailey's good. Starting to see some vintage Laura Bailey here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's starting to take over and just kind of create on her own. She's got the ability to do that with that little step back from 20 feet.
Hinton has it for Dobyns Bennett. Over to Black. Black on a curl. There's Moore will launch a three is good by Peyton Moore. 61-39. DeBusk for Greeneville. Over to Shaw. Shaw back to DeBusk. DeBusk driving left in the paint. Shot by DeBusk off the glass, no good. Tipped to Shaw. Shaw's shot off the glass, it's no good. Rebound by Marsh is good. She's had herself a nice game.
Yes, she has.
63-39. Moore will shoot another three. That one is good as well. 63-42. DeBusk around the Shaw screen. We've got everybody on the bench checking in across the way. There's no more room for anybody to check in. Bailey working her way in, might have charged. Missed the layup. Shot by Marsh was missed, and the rebound comes down to Fry. And we got a foul in backcourt, I think, on Greeneville, and that will allow everybody across the way to enter the ballgame. 9 team fouls on Greeneville, so that will send some lady in the line for 1+. Looks like that's going to be Doran. 63-42, 136 to go here. The Green Devils on their way to their 10th win of the year already. Tossed by Doran, no good. Rebound tipped out, controlled by Doran. Doran on the attack in the corner to Hill. Wanted to shoot the three, but coming out there with Gilcher, no way to shoot over her. So they get it to Doran in the right corner. That one is no good. Rebound underneath, fighting for it is Salyer. In there for Dobyns. Bennett has it. Back to Evans. Doran driving right baseline all the way through for the layup. Won't fall. Rebound Doran gets her on the miss. Missed the shot. Rebound taken by Greeneville's Abby Adkins. She will hand it to Hayes. A minute to go. Hayes, Gilchard out top. Lobbing it down low to Adkins. Adkins shot no good, but she draws a foul. I think Hill came from the backside and knocked her on the arm. So Abby Adkins to the line for 2 shots for Greeneville. 55 seconds to go, 63-42. Free throw's good by Adkins. Second toss by Adkins. That one is missed, and the rebound comes down to Hood. 64-42, 50 seconds to go. Evans around the Hood screen. Evans out top, leaves it with Lawson. Lawson lobs it to Hood. Hood turns, faces the basket, shot and missed. Rebound taken by Greeneville. And that was, I think, Martin had it momentarily, then lost it out of bounds. Nope, that was Job had it momentarily, then lost it out of bounds. Inbounds to Hill. Hill's gonna line up, shoot a long three, which is good. Got the friendly basket, did Hill. Friendly roll, 64-45. Hayes has it, 22 seconds. Adkins has it knocked away from her by Hill on the steal. And then backcourt on the turnover, Greeneville's called for a foul. And Dobyns Bennett will walk to the other line for 2 shots. I think Salyer will go to the line for Dobyns Bennett. Free throw by Salyer is no good, but she has a second. What's the free throw tally, Mark? It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. The percentage is getting worse. We've made 4. We've made 1 the second half. We'll get the figures here in a little bit.
Free throw by Salyer, got that. The reverse jinx employed here.
There you go.
Greeneville with it. Joe drives to the corner. Back out top to Hayes. 8 seconds to go. Greeneville will, I think, they're going to take it inside there, and it's a turnover. They try to get it down to Dilker instead of just running out the time. 64-46 is the count. And that will do it, as Evans will hold it in the back corner. So your final score, Greeneville 64, Dobyns Bennett 46. 64-46 is your final score. Mark will have your numbers momentarily. And while he's doing that, we're going to get set up. We've got to go live on radio as well for the boys game. And so we'll get ready for that here momentarily.
Okay, I think I got these tallied up. First of all, for the Lady Green Devils, who now go to 10-1 on the year. They had 32 at halftime, 15 in the third, another 17 in the fourth, total of 64. They were 20 for 35 inside the line, 4 for 13 outside the line. That's 24 for 48 altogether, 12 for 16 from the charity stripe. 34 rebounds on 26 defensive, 8 offensive, 15 total assists. Pretty impressive. And they had a total of 10 steals. Led in scoring by Lauren Bailey, who had 14, most of which came late in the game, really in the fourth quarter. 11 by Chloe Marsh, 10 by Delaney DeBusk, 5 each by Anna Shaw and by Tamron Ellenberg, 6 by Lindy Carter. 2 by Kyla Job and 1 by Abby Atkins for their total of 64. They had 16 turnovers. For the Lady Indians, at half they had 28, only 4 points they could muster in the third quarter. 14 in the fourth, total of 46. They were 10 of 26 inside the line, 7 for 19 outside, that's 17 for 45, but the telling of the story was 5 for 20 from the free throw line. Probably not enough difference to make a difference in the win or loss, but certainly keeps it competitive, and you never know down the stretch. So 5 for 20 from the line. 15 defensive rebounds, 11 offensive, total of 26. 14 turnovers. Led in scoring by Olivia Dorn with 13. Caroline Hill with 11. 9 by Peyton Moore. Let's see, 5 for Hannah Fry, 4 by Alexis Hood, 3 by Henson, and 1 by Allison Sawyer for the total of 46. So there you have it. Here from the Dome, final score, Lady Green Devils 64 and the Lady Tribe 46. We will take a few minute break here. We've got about 11 minutes before the tip of the boys game. And we will get ourselves ready. We will be on the radio here shortly. And then, of course, live stream. And we'll be with you here momentarily.
And a very pleasant good Tuesday evening, Indian fans. Welcome in to the Buck Van Huss Dome. Tonight it's the long-awaited home opener for your Dobyns Bennett Indians as the defending Class AA state champion Greeneville Green Devils are in the house to take on your Dobyns Bennett Indians. Greeneville very impressive over the weekend and wins over East Hamilton and Science Hill. They beat East Hamilton 72-55, defeated Science Hill 75-70. Meanwhile, Dobyns Bennett in that same Doubletree round ball showcase, losing to Morristown East in overtime 64-56, and then defeating East Hamilton in very impressive fashion as well. By the count, I believe that was 84-56. So both teams defeated the Hurricanes of East Hamilton on the weekend. Dobyns Bennett comes in at 7-3 overall. Meanwhile, for Greeneville, the Green Devils at 5-2. Actually, Dobyns Bennett at 6-3 overall. Greeneville at 5-2. The Green Devils lost their first 2 games of the year, but that was before they had many of their football players on board. Since then, 5 very impressive victories by the Green Devils. Lots to get to here on the Coach Chris Poor pregame reports. We'll take a 2 minutes, continue on the other side. This is Dobyns Bennett Indian basketball on your home for all Dobyns Bennett sports since 1942. We are ESPN Tri-Cities. All right, welcome back to the Buck Van Hustome. Steve Wimmuth, Mark Halverson here with you. We get set for boys action, Mark, against Greeneville, the defending AA state champions. A lot of times in the postseason, we talk about very few teams, get to end their season with a win. Greeneville has ended 2 straight seasons with a win. They didn't get to play the state tournament in 2020. They won the state tournament last year. It's a very good club. A lot of these guys on this team have been part of both of those clubs, including their best 2 players now, seniors. Reed Satterfield is 6'4", shooting guard, and of course the outstanding point guard, combo guard really, Jacoby Gillespie, who we saw the other day was phenomenal in Johnson City over the weekend. He made 8 of 12 3-pointers in Greeneville's win over East Hamilton. Coach Ken Cullen saw that game, decided, you know what, we're going to run him off the 3-point line. We're not going to let him beat us with the 3. He attacks the rim, goes for 37 in the win over the Toppers on Saturday.
Yeah, he's quite a player, and this team has, as you mentioned, played together for so long, and they know how to get it done. You put that in the hands of a guy, and Coach Woolsey, who can really coach, and you've got yourself the makings of a dynamic team. They know how to play both ends. They move the ball really nicely, and they're not going to sit and watch those 2 players. I mean, those 2 players will get their other teammates involved, but when it comes down to really nutcracking time, it's one of those 2 that are going to take the shot generally in Jacoby and Satterfield, and both of them are very good at it. Satterfield more of a spot-up catch-and-shoot kid but he's got great range. He's not just a 19-foot-9-inch shooter. He can bring it back to 24, 25 feet if necessary. But when you've got to be on your toes with Gillespie, and the way Satterfield will run the floor is he likes to get into those lanes where Jacoby's attacking, and those 2 play together very, very well. So the Indians' hands are going to be full. But I'll tell you what, Steve, we've had 2 games we've broadcasted this year with the Indians, and it has been completely 2 different clubs. 2 different complete makeups. The first game, they kind of stood around. They didn't move very well. They weren't very physical against Morristown East. Really had a chance to win. Didn't play, in my mind, very well. And then they come back against an East Hamilton team who's supposed to be really, really good, and they were talented. And they just ran them out of the gym with tremendous ball defense, really pressured the perimeter, not allowing many good looks by East Hamilton, who was physical, had a bigger size. And then, of course, they executed it on offense to a T. So if the second game that we broadcasted, if that East Hamilton game, and we can see the Dobyns Bennett Tribe kind of play that way, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. These are 2 pretty good teams.
All right, also for Greeneville, they lost their outstanding point guard last year, Dobyns. Don't discount that for them. That's a significant loss. He was fabulous as a point guard, but they've got some other good players, Ajonte Dabbs, Terry Grove, Mason Laws, Jackson Tillery, Jaquan Price. Coach Cullen really wanted to make everybody else beat him the other day. He said, look, Jacoby Gillespie's going to get his. What happened was some other guys stepped up. Dabbs had about 14, Price had 10, and he said, that's what great teams do. Great teams, when you try to make somebody else beat you, great teams, they have that somebody. Greeneville has it.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying, that this team doesn't just stand there and watch the other 2 guys play. They get involved, and when they need to contribute, they have stepped up and have done very, very well. And that's why this team's going to be good, and they're going to put themselves in a position to do it again later. You mentioned the loss of Dobyns. I've always been a firm believer at the high school and college games that the great teams have great point guards. And Dobyns was not necessarily a great scoring point guard, but boy, he could really get it done defensively. He could pressure the ball, and then he put them in sets and created the ball movement that he wanted out of this team, and he got the ball into the shooters and the scorers' hands time in and time again, and that's what made them really, really good. So it's going to be interesting to see who that guy is. I mean, right now it's been, it's been Jacoby Gillespie who's kind of held that point guard role, but if they can develop a true point guard and create some opportunities that would help take the ball out of his hands, they're going to be a great team again as this team starts to develop into the second half of the year.
All right, both teams have completed their pregame drills. We're either going to have the starting lineups first or the national anthem first. I believe it will be the anthem first. We shall see here momentarily. All right, we're going to step aside for a 2-minute timeout. On the other side, we're going to have the introduction of the starting lineups on ESPN Tri-Cities. Now the introduction of the starting lineups. Yeah, I like it. Feels good, doesn't it?
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's not. We haven't seen this much here in the last year or two, for obvious reasons.
You and I by ourselves over here last year. Greeneville's coached by Brad Woolsey at 5-2. Brad Woolsey, 239 career wins, 123 defeats. First out, 5'8" junior Jackson Tiller. 5'7" senior, and 6'2" senior Jacoby Gillespie, 6'1" junior Ajate Dabbs, 6'4" senior Terry Grove, and 6'3" senior Reed Satterfield. Man, they just fly right through those, don't they?
And not a lot of size. You know, this team isn't going to beat you around the rim unless they attack it. They're not going to post up players generally to get you, but they're very dynamic, and they know how to play, and they can get it going, and they get it in the right hands of their shooters, and that's playing smart basketball.
5'8" junior Jonathan Gillespie for Dobyns Bennett, followed by 5'9" junior Brady Stump. Then comes 6' senior Carter Metz, and then the two 6'4" seniors in Jack Browder and Malachi Hill, coached by Greeneville graduate Chris Poore. 236 career wins for Coach Poore, 98 here at Dobyns Bennett.
You know, one of the keys the other night to the way the Indians played was the play of Browder and Hale, really attacking the size of East Hamilton. I think the key tonight is going to be, again, how well they play. If they can stay out of foul trouble and get going to the basket, they might be able to create some matchup advantages against the Green Devils. So let's keep an eye on how Hale and Browder get it done tonight.
Grove and Hale jump it up. Hale beat everybody to the tip, controlled by Gillespie, who lost it going the other way, and Stump comes up with it for Dobyns Bennett. His Browder guarded by Satterfield. Metz checked by Gillespie. Stump has it, and here's a ball taken away on the other side by Tillery. Tillery to Gillespie, all the way down, left hand shot off the glass is good. And Gillespie's on the board. It's 2-0 Greeneville.
That's what we can't allow is transition buckets because Gillespie's so fast. He'll get in position to get the ball and go. That's a huge matchup disadvantage for the Indians.
Browder in the right corner. Hale, high post, guarded by Grove, spins by him. He's going to take it all the way to the glass. Missed the layup. Rebound taken away by Dobyns. Dobyns to Gillespie, guarded by Gillespie. Gillespie on Gillespie. Dobyns gives it to Gillespie on the right baseline. Cross court to Tillery. A three from the left corner. Tillery, no good. Rebound Browder for Dobyns Bennett. Browder in backcourt to Stump. Stump across the timeline. Stump guarded by Dobyns. Metz to Hale. Back to Stump. Gillespie guarded by Tillery. Now Satterfield is on Metz this time. Stump. Here comes a double team. Stump gets rid of it to Gillespie on the right wing. Gillespie working on Tillery. Gets to the right elbow, can't shoot. And Stump has it. Over to Metz. Metz going against Grove. Crossover dribble. Can't shoot on the 6'4 Grove. Back to Gillespie. Gillespie, they'll switch it. Tillery driving. Gillespie muscling his way in. Shot off the glass. Good by Jonathan Gillespie.
A little shake and bake and hesitation. That change of pace allowed that room to get the shot off with the right hand off the glass.
Driving is Tillery. Off the feed from Gillespie and a foul called on the push. Stump called for the personal. His first, team first. Kenley Tincher quickly in for Dobyns Bennett. Out will go Brady Stump. Greeneville to work it in. Baseline right. Inbounds to Grove. Over to Gillespie. Tincher now on Gillespie.
One of the things that Tincher will not do is back down against Gillespie. He's a really physical defender. And that may be exactly what we need to how to defend him. You can't give him space. He'll go right by you with space. And Tincher's one that'll get up in your kitchen a little bit. We'll see how that works out.
Tillery back out front to Dobyns on a bounce to Satterfield. Left high post, back to Dobyns. Dobyns, Satterfield backing down against him. Metz goes underneath all the way through, can't shoot. Lobs it back out here to Gillespie. Gillespie between the legs dribble, driving left. Big collision. Gillespie still on the dribble, shot off the glass, no good. And the rebound comes down, goes off Greeneville to Dobyns Bennett.
Now already, that little bit frustrated him, was unable to get into a good shot, kind of a shovel shot. He really didn't have much of a chance of going in, and all because of the pressure defense. That physicality may be the nice ingredient to kind of slow him down.
Tincher on left wing, in the corner to Metz. Metz on a bounce back to Tincher, top of the key. Jonathan Gillespie in the right corner will shoot the three. Shot by Gillespie is short. Rebound goes off of Malachi Hale to Greeneville. Greg Allen goes in and Hale will come in. Satterfield inbounds to Gillespie, quickly the other way. In the corner to Tillery, down low to Grove, who lost it. Tillery grabs it back. He'll lob it back to Grove. Grove working against Allen, drop step underneath, missed the shot. Tips it, however, back to Dobyns. Dobyns shot no good. Rebound by Jonathan Gillespie for Dobyns Bennett. The other way, Tillery knocks it away. Tillery's second steal already of the game. Here comes Dobyns for Greeneville. Dobyns on the pick and roll with Grove. Spinning in the lane. Grove shot, no good. Rebound by Allen. Here comes Metz. Metz to Tincher. Browder to Gillespie on left wing.
That was Browder's first touch. Really wasn't in a position to score.
Browder has it, driving right in the paint. Browder shuttle floater goes. Shot good by Browder.
Tough shot, taking physical contact by two players. Satterfield, one of them, still able to get the shot up and release it over the top of the glass and score.
Gillespie long three, missed right by Tillery. Tillery tried to give a go to Gillespie on the backdoor feet, threw it away on a turnover. Gillespie stopped, the pass did not. Browder, pull up 15-footer, no good. Rebound by Tillery. Dabbs around the screen, driving, but tried to get it to Grove, threw it away. Dobyns Bennett on the turnover, all the way down, and Dobyns Bennett turns it back over as Gillespie knocks it away.
Tillery's third steal.
Yep. Long three-pointer by Satterfield is good. Excuse me, Dabbs hit that one. It's 5-4 Greeneville. Browder over to Tincher. Gillespie around to Grove, from Grove, guarding him. Here's Browder has it. Browder, a long three is short. Rebound taken by Dabbs. Quickly the other way comes Dabbs. Dabbs over to Tillery. Tillery driving, and he's bumped. Ooh, they called that a jump ball to Dobyns Bennett.
Okay. For it to be a jump ball, doesn't the opposing team have to touch it?
One would think. You should give Gillespie a block shot without ever touching the ball, right? 5-4. Greeneville on top. 2:20 to go here in the first quarter. Over to Hales, left wing Tincher. Eli Day in the basketball game. High post. Looking for Stump backdoor. Can't get it to him. Back to Metz. Metz on the move. Spinning Metz. Will fall away. 10-footer by Metz is good.
That's his game. That's that penetration pull-up. Got to get him more ball screen opportunities so he can create that, in my opinion. He doesn't really do it much off the dribble, but if you give him a little bit of space, he can create that little jump shot. He's very effective.
Jacoby Gillespie trying to lose Tincher. Gets rid of it to Satterfield. Satterfield forces a long three, but it's good. 8-6 Greeneville.
The defensive change so far that Coach Boers employed with putting Tincher on Gillespie has really worked. You can tell it's frustrated him a little bit, not giving him really many good looks.
Tincher in the paint, kicks it out to Hale for three. Shot good by Malachi Hale. 9-8 Dobyns Bennett on top. Dabbs hands it to Gillespie. Gillespie, tough shot, no good. Rebound by Hale. Outlet to Metz. Metz all the way down, bumped by Satterfield. Metz gets the layup to go. Dobyns Bennett by three, 11-8.
Again, kind of a tough shot, falling away, one-handed throw off the glass. Kind of a duplicate of what he did earlier to Gillespie, and not there. And that starts the run for the Indians into that easy bucket for Metz.
And the basketball game is Price for Greeneville. Price has a basketball over to Dabbs. Also in the game is Bradley Wells. Foul underneath called on Eli Day, his first, team second.
Probably not a bad foul. Dabbs got position off his own miss. Original miss, got the rebound, was wide open underneath, and a little bit of a hit by Day forces him to go to the free throw line. So we'll see how the foul shots are executed, but that was an easy layup without the foul.
Free throw by Dabbs, no good. Second shot by Dabbs is good. He's got four, it's 11-9.
I like that right there. It was deflected out of bounds, but you don't see enough of that at this game, at this level. Too much dribbling up the floor off the make. There, Stump really rifling it up the right side, but it deflected out of bounds. You can see more of that. You can get some really good looks in that secondary break.
Here's Gillespie off the feed from Stump for the layup good. Or excuse me, for the three-pointer good. 14-9 Dobyns Bennett on top.
He's much better off a catch and shoot from the perimeter than he is off the dribble, whereas going to the rim, I like him with the jump shot. Gillespie off the miss there. Browder with the corral.
Yep, Dabbs misses. Browder with the rebound. Back to Stump. Stump with 7 seconds to go here in the quarter. Wants a screen from Hale. Stump Driving right, stop all the way through. Has to force his shot up. It's blocked out of bounds by Dabbs as the first quarter comes to a close. Dobyns Bennett 14, Greeneville 9, back in 60 seconds on ESPN Tri-City. Hello. You hear me? That station.
Take that out and just see if that is the reason.
Well, that's what they're using on the left.
I know, but let's just take it out and see what happens.
That's not. All right, we're back at live action. Greeneville has the basketball. Gillespie fouled by Tincher. Rice got him the ball. 3 fouls on Dobyns Bennett.
A little technical difficulty back at the station. We'll just continue to go live here for the stream.
There is Hale knocking it away on the steal, but grabbed back by Gillespie all the way down for the layup. Good. Indians almost had the steal, but Gillespie got it back. It's 14-11. Tillery's foul called on Jackson Tillery, his first. Team first on Greeneville as well. 14-11 Dobyns Bennett, 7:30 to go in the first half.
Refs love making you tuck your shirt in.
Yeah, it's important. Gillespie for Dobyns Bennett, guarded by Gillespie for Greeneville. Over to Browder. Browder on the drive. Browder's going to take it all the way and he's going to be called for a charge.
Yeah, Tillery is a pretty good player, Steve. I mean, right there, he's got 3 steals. He's not ball dominant, but he can get it done on defense and really smart plays. He reads the charge by the attempted attack by Browder.
All right, Satterfield for Greeneville has it now. Satterfield over to Gillespie. Gillespie working against Gillespie. And then a 5-second call on Gillespie.
Very good pressure by, I think it's his cousin, isn't Jonathan Jacoby's cousin?
I
They're
think
related
that's correct.
somehow.
Yes. Dobyns Bennett with the basketball, had it stolen away by Satterfield on the Indian turnover. Gillespie driving the baseline. He slips and falls. Turnover. Here comes Jonathan Gillespie for the Indians. All the way down against Satterfield. Shot good. And they called a foul on Satterfield, who's actually trying to get out of the way.
Nice deflection that allowed Jonathan Gillespie with the drive to pick it up and sprint and start a little bit of a run. And you're right, Satterfield recognized the easy layup, tried to get out of the way, and the foul is called. And Jonathan now has a chance to get to a 3-point play action. He's got 7 here early in the first half. 7 turnovers for the Green Devils and 6 for the Indians.
So Gillespie with his team up by 5. Shot by Gillespie is good. He's got 8. And it's 17-11 Dobyns Bennett. Dabbs over to Satterfield, over to Jacoby Gillespie on left wing. Back out front to Dabbs. Dabbs makes moves on Browder to Grove. He's going to line up the 3 from the left wing. Shot good by Grove. I think Dobyns Bennett might be comfortable with that shot, but Grove knocked it down.
He didn't look comfortable taking it, but he went ahead and did it. He didn't have any choice.
Metz to Stump in the corner for 3, no good. Jacoby Gillespie rebounds for Greeneville. Quickly up the floor to Dabbs in the left corner, back to Satterfield. Fakes to 3, step back, shoots an 18-footer, way short. Tillery and Stump battling for it. It goes out of bounds. They say off Stump to Greeneville. 17-14, 5:50 to go here in the first half. Dabbs for Greeneville. Dabbs driving all the way to the baseline. And it knocked away, picked up by Tillery. Back to Grove, and Grove travels. He had about a 10-footer mark, but decided to take it down.
I was just going to say, Tillery gave him a nice feed right in the middle of the lane. And really had a nice little, catch and pop right there in the middle. Decided to try to take it into traffic, no less. And that's really what caused the travel. He's trying to hold on to this 3-point lead with the ball.
Metz has it. Top of the key to Allen, back to Metz. Metz in the paint, will pull up 15-footer is sweet by Carter Metz.
Get him into that isolation situation, and he can nail those all night long. And that's a good matchup situation for the Indians with Metz against Tillery.
Gillespie over to Dabbs for a 3, good. 19-17. Metz for Dobyns Bennett. Working left to right over to Tincher. Fakes a 3. Tincher all the way to the basket. Missed the shot. Rebound Hale. Hale's putback is good. He might have even got hacked on the way up. 21-17.
Well, he got up way high on that one.
4:40 to go first half. 21-17. Dobyns Bennett with it. Gillespie for the Devils. Step back long. 22-footer is good by Gillespie. 21-20. There's not much defending you can do on that shot.
No, but I'll give him that one. That's 23, 24 feet. If he knocks him down, give him credit.
Allen to Tincher. High post. Malachi Hale back to the basket, spins and is knocked as he goes down the lane. A foul, I think, on Grove. Yep. His first. Team third on Greeneville. Browder checking back in for Dobyns Bennett. Out will go Gregory Allen. 4:15 to go first half. 21-20 Dobyns Bennett on top. Tincher inbounds to Browder. Browder 15-footer. No good. Tipped by Satterfield. Grabbed by Hale. Hale in the paint. Shot off the glass. No good. Hale is on miss. Good. Oh, the glass good by Malachi Hale. 23-20. Grove. And Grove's going to be called for the charge as Malachi Hale, Mark, makes the shot, races down the floor on defense, gets position, and takes the charge.
Takes the charge. One of the things he does, and it's back to his rebound, you don't see very often, is he's a two-hand catcher. You see him go up. He doesn't break it with one hand. He just skies up and secures it with two hands. And that's why he is so nifty around the rim on the putbacks, because he's got great control of the ball off the second chance.
Metz, a give and go, lobs it down low to Hale. Hale shot off the glass is good. 25-20. A steal by Hale. Here's Tincher with it. And Tincher has it restolen by Satterfield. And a foul in backcourt on Tincher. (25-20). Stump returning for Tincher, who's got 2 fouls. Satterfield to throw it inside midcourt. 3:30 to go in the half. Indians by 5. Satterfield gets it into Wells, who's returned. Back to Gillespie. Dabbs has it on right wing. Dabbs driving left. Tillery swings it to Gillespie on right side. Satterfield off the screen, can't shoot. Instead, he'll drive. Shot off the glass by Satterfield is good. 25-22, Satterfield with it. Satterfield holds an offer from Jacksonville, I understand. There's Gillespie for Greeneville, already signed with Belmont. Hale driving in the lane. Shot by Hale is good.
He's kind of taking over right now. 8 points for, 11 points rather for Hale.
8 here in the quarter. Gillespie, pull up, long three-pointer, no good. Rebound. Hale fighting for it, and they say it went out of bounds off Tillery, and it did. 2:35 to go. Greeneville wants a 30-second timeout. Timeout, Dobyns Bennett 27, Greeneville 22. We'll be on live stream only the rest of the way, Mark.
Got some Skype issues, huh?
Well, no, we went Skype, we went to the phone line, nothing worked. We'll figure it out. Anyway, don't forget Friday night. There will be no live stream Friday night, boys and girls. So if you want to see Dobyns Bennett sign sealed in the Douglas Langston game, you got to get here to the Dome on Friday night.
Satterfield with 5. Jacoby Gillespie with 7. They're 2 fine players.
Gillespie has it for Dobyns Bennett. Back to Hale. Hale guarded by Gillespie. Puts the move on in the paint. Leaves it for Gillespie for 3. Good by Gillespie. Off the feed from Hale, and Dobyns Bennett leads it 30-22. Driving is Dabbs. Leaves it for Tillery in the corner. He'll give it to Wells. Now driving is Gillespie, skying, missing the dunk, and it goes out of bounds, but my gracious, how high up was it?
I tell you, Stump made a pretty good decision trying to take the charge, and that forced Jacoby to start to jump a little bit further away from the basket than he wanted to. Nonetheless, it was pretty athletic.
It's the most, one of the more impressive missed dunks you'll see.
Yes, out of a 6'2" player.
Browder spinning in the lane, can't shoot. Back to Gillespie for another 3. It's good as well. 33-22, Dobyns Bennett leading. Back-to-back threes by Tribes Gillespie. Dabbs over to Satterfield. Satterfield in the paint, forces a shot up, blocked by Hale, and Hale picks away the rebound. Stolen by Satterfield, however, his 3 is good. 33-25. Driving is Metz all the way to the glass. Good by Carter Metz, who's got 8.
Good recognition of the baseline being open by Carter off the feed. And he just took it and then secured it with his body. And up off the glass with 2 hands. 10-point Indian lead.
Dabbs for Greeneville has it. Working against Browder, and a 5-second call on Dabbs.
10 turnovers. Make it 11 turnovers for Greeneville. Indians with 8. And the Indians are doing a better job with theirs in that they're turning them into points.
Stump on the drive for the Indians, bumped by Tillery and fouled, but he'll go the line for 2 shots.
If that left lane is open and Stump has the ball starting about 25 feet away from the goal, he is a burst. And he's a really tough guard, particularly against somebody with equal size. But as quick as he is going to that left side, you just don't see that very often. And most kids are, everybody's right hand dominant. And Stump the other way as he makes the first of 2. Indians playing very, very well here tonight. Moving the ball exceptionally well, playing good defense, keeping Gillespie really away from the rim, which I think is what you have to do. I know that they wanted to chase him off the 3 the other night. I think he's too dynamic a player going to the goal.
Stump makes them both. It's 37-25. Jacoby Gillespie over to Satterfield. In the corner, a 3 is good. That's Jaquan Price. 37-28.
They've made 7 threes here tonight. Only missed 3. They're 7 out of 10. That's what's keeping them in the game.
Wow. Stump for Dobyns Bennett to Metz. Metz to Allen. Allen, 15 seconds to go here in the quarter. To Metz. Metz guarded by Dabbs. Metz on the attack, spinning, had it knocked away. Here comes Jacoby Gillespie. Take it all the way for the dunk, good. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So Gillespie steals it and dunks it to end the first half. Your score at halftime is Dobyns Bennett 37 and Greeneville 30. (23-21) the differential in that second quarter. Dobyns Bennett leads it 37-30 at halftime. But they had it 37-25, so Greeneville scores the last 5 points of the first half. Kind of veteran club. They got a lot of good players, well coached. They just kind of figured out some things.
Listen, man, I told the kids, there's no shame in losing to somebody that's better than you, and you got to be man enough to accept when somebody is better than you. But that's why we play these games, to get better. That game do nothing for us but make us better. And you know, the fact we competed for 16 minutes there, that was the best start we've had against a really good quality basketball team. I was afraid we probably were going to run a little short in the third quarter because I knew we'd left a lot out there, and that's part of having an inexperienced team is you got to learn how to fight through and maintain that. I said the other thing is, I said it's coaching a team like this is like your golf game. You know, some days you drive it well off the tee, can't score at the green. Some days you're great around the green, can't get off the tee. I said with this group, it's like we do certain things good, and then other things we just can't put it all together yet for a whole game. But we're going to get there. I know we are. And it's just a matter of time, and when it does, it's going to click. Because you can see the light bulb flickering at times today, and the things we've been teaching coaches, working on, they're like, hey, this works, you know? And we just don't get enough of it right now. And, you know, the big thing, like, we've been shooting 69% from the free throw line as a team, and tonight we decided to go 5 of 20. I mean, where did that come from? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, I don't know, that was crazy. But, I was proud of them. We played hard. I said 4 out of our 6 losses this year. You could probably play those 4 teams 10 times, probably lose 10 times. And at this point in the season, hopefully we can say different later on. And when we go play Greeneville down there later in the season, hopefully we'll be better. I know they will be too. But, you know, we saw some good things tonight. Our press adjustments really gave them trouble. And, you know, honestly, they made a good adjustment to it. And, see, we've not been able to practice against those adjustments yet. So we're learning. That helps us to see that adjustment. Now we know how we can fix that. You know, where they start sending people down the court, and our kids weren't quite sure how to react to that. So we'll fix that, and then once we can keep that going, I think that could give people some fits.
Yeah, I was going to mention the free throw thing, and you know, when they made their run in the third quarter, if you're more proficient from the free throw line, you're still in the game.
Yeah.
Because you weren't when they made the run, then you're kind of out of it.
And I counted up, first half, we missed 9 free throws.
Right.
And we were down 4, and I felt like we were I felt like we were winning the game. We had played so hard and so well. But that's what really good teams do to you. You know, Bailey goes for 37 against Science Hill,
right.
but tonight she goes for 14, but does it when she has to.
Right.
And then you got 4 other kids that go for double figures. So
right.
that's what the great teams do, man. They can piece it together any way they need on any given night.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been in that boat before. We've been one of those teams, and now we're working to becoming one of those teams.
Yeah, I thought you did a good job defensively on Bailey. She didn't really have a field goal till, I think, the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when it was kind of out of hand, and we got so much to learn defensively. I mean, I see so much that we just don't do well, and a lot of that's from inexperience. And we'll correct that, but that just takes time. Normally, our juniors and seniors in our program are ready to really compete defensively like we expect. So we got a lot of sophomores right now that are still learning that, and don't understand, and hadn't been in a lot of situations.
Yeah. Well, you know, like you said, you can only get better from that game.
Oh, yeah.
Playing teams like that make you better. You got a young club. You started 4 sophomores against them.
We did, and I told him after the game, I said, man, that first half, I said, that's what it's about. I said, that's great high school basketball. I said, I was fired up. I said, this is my kind of competition. That's how I like to be involved in it. I said, that was fun, you know. That was fun for 16 minutes. The next 16 minutes, not so much fun. But we're going to figure out how to make it fun for the whole game and then have some fun afterwards. And that's kind of our code word this year. Losing is not fun. Winning isn't fun. So when we lose, it's no fun. But when we win, we're going to have a lot of fun.
But, Coach, you guys got some time off now. You don't play again until the 23rd.
Yeah, we're going to take off tomorrow, practice pretty hard, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, take Sunday, Monday off, enjoy the boys event here, practice early Tuesday, go again Wednesday, play Gate City Thursday. Then we're going to take a couple days off, practice, and head to Tampa. Play some really good competition down there. I've already looked at, I've already peeked at a couple of the teams in our upper half of the bracket. You talk about Science Hill, you look at Science Hill and their athleticism. These teams, wow, they're right in that league.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you'll be in Tampa.
We'll be in Tampa. We'll go to the beach. We'll go to a Magic game. It should be a great trip.
Well, we'll see you at least once before then.
Okay.
Gate City. So we appreciate you, Coach.
All right.
We'll talk to you then.
Thanks, Steve. Roll Trop.
Hand it back over here to Mark, who's got our first half numbers here. Dobyns Bennett leading 37-30. Mark.
All right, here we go. First of all, for the Greeneville Devils. They were 4 of 12 inside the arc, 7 for 10 outside. That's 11 for 22 overall. 7 for 10 being the key from the 3. 1 for 2 from the line. 9 points in the first quarter, but 21 in the second, 30 overall. 12 turnovers, and that's really kind of what I think has been the difference so far in the game. Then, of course, the three-point shooting. Led in scoring by Jacoby Gillespie, who by and large was pretty quiet, but he did finish with 9 after the break. 8 by Satterfield, 7 by Dabbs, 3 each by Price and by Grove. And I thought the Satterfield steal that turned into a 3 and the Dabbs 2 threes I thought were kind of backbreakers, in that the Indians really started to look like they were going to get a chance to pull away. And those 3 shots is what really kept Greeneville within striking distance, down 37-30. Indians in the first quarter had 14, 23 in the second, total of 37, 11 for 17 inside the arc. They also shot it well outside, 4 for 7, total of 15 for 24. 3 for 3 from the line, 8 turnovers, only 9 rebounds. Both teams only had 9 rebounds, but when you shoot over 50%, there's not going to be that many misses. Scoring leader was Malachi Hale, who was pretty dominant in that half. And we kind of talked about that before the game. I thought the key was going to be his matchup advantages and then also what Browder was able to do. Browder with 2, 8 points by Metz, who I thought played very, very well. Stayed under control, didn't take any bad shots at all. Recognized the pockets, and we were there. That's when he delivered. 2 points by Stump and 14 by scoring leader in the first half, game-high leader, Jonathan Gillespie, who had those 3 threes that were really big for the Indians down the stretch, particularly the 2 late in the second half, or the second quarter. So there you have it. First half totals 37-30 Indians.
Dobyns Bennett leads it. Gillespie's leading both teams in scoring. Don't forget, we're back Friday night. Dobyns Bennett here against Science Hill. The Langston-Douglas game, tip-off 7:30, no live stream Friday night. Dobyns Bennett in the Alpha Invitational next Monday and Tuesday. 9 total teams, 8 total games. Dobyns Bennett will play at 8 o'clock both nights, and then Gate City here a week from Thursday. Lady Blue Devils and Lady Indians at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Dobyns Bennett and the Devils follow at 4:30 that afternoon. Dobyns Bennett has possession. We start the second half. Browder, Gillespie, Stump, Metz, and Hale for Dobyns Bennett. Tillery, Dabbs, Satterfield, Gillespie, and Grove for the Devils. Gillespie for Dobyns Bennett, top of the key over to Browder on left wing. He dumps it down low to Gillespie. Gillespie spinning in the lane against Dabbs. Left-handed shot up and good by Gillespie. Where did that come from? That's new.
Yeah, that's
Mark
real.
Halverson.
Been kind of unconscious here tonight is John. Maybe that playing against his cousin has been inspirational.
No question. Jacoby Gillespie for Greeneville. Lobbed it to Satterfield, over to Tillery. Dabbs out front off the screen from Satterfield, won't shoot. He'll take it to the right side, back out to Satterfield, guarded by Metz. Dabbs in the right corner. Dabbs drives to the right elbow, back to Tillery. Tillery attacks all the way through, missed a shot, got his own rebound. Had it knocked away by Hale, grabbed underneath by Grove, but a foul on Dobyns Bennett. Foul is on Jack Browder, his second. Team first of the second half. Satterfield inbounds to Grove, to Gillespie, who drops it. Over to Tillery. Satterfield on left wing. Follow a 17-footer in out, no good rebound. Malachi Hale with the good box. He'll give it to Stump.
He leads all rebounders with 6 now, this Hale.
Stump will shoot a 3 from the top of the key, good, and even got fouled.
No question he got fouled. Kind of got undercut there. That's kind of dangerous. Oh, what a play by Hale.
And Hale takes that one out of midair, all the way down to Metz. Metz, a little flutter off the glass, good, and a foul on Satterfield.
Boy, Hale has been absolutely dominant here tonight. That 3, and then races back and is able to pick the cross-court pass out of the air from Tillery, and then going to the opposite end, Metz is able to finish it, head to the line for a natural 3-point play. Hale's play has been the difference here tonight.
The Indians lead it by 14. As they have come out of the gate on fire here in the second half. Metz free throw is missed. And rebound taken by Jacoby Gillespie. Gillespie all the way to the baseline. Tough fall away shot over Tincher. No good. Rebound by Grove. Grove spinning in the lane against Hale. Shot good by Terry Grove. And it's 44-32. Metz for the Tribe. Hands it to Gillespie, over to Tincher. Browder on left wing. Back out front to Hale.
Their offense has been so fluid. Good ball movement there. Nice feed from Metz into Browder for an up and in and another foul. Another 3-point play attempt, all because of outstanding moving without the ball. Nobody's standing around. Browder with the diagonal cut from left to right. Nice feed from Metz. And this offense is really clicking right now.
Jack Browder's free throw is missed. Hale had the tip on the rim. Couldn't get it to go. Grove with the rebound. It's 46-32. Indians, however, left a couple out there, Mark, on the free throw line. Dabbs over to Gillespie. Gillespie around the screen there from Wells. Back to Dabbs. They swing it to Grove. Satterfield on the right side. Can't get free. Works it back to Dabbs. Dabbs drives to the left elbow. Bounce pass through the lane to Grove. Grove working against Hale. Got the foul called on Hale.
That's just good low block work by Terry Grove. Just got it, was patient, kind of attempted some ball fakes. And then the last one got Hale up off the ground just enough, and then he took the body to draw the foul. That's really good ball work there by Grove.
Terry Grove to the line for 2 shots. First shot by Grove is missed. 5:29 to go here, third quarter, 46-32. Dobyns Bennett leading Greeneville, defending state AA champions. Shot by Grove. That one is good. 46-33. Metz over to Browder, back to Metz. To Browder, Tincher in the left corner, free for a three. Shot no good. Hale tips it, but it's controlled by Dobyns. Dobyns, not by us, not a double dribble. Over to Wells, back to Jacoby Gillespie. Bounce past Satterfield on right wing. Satterfield, screen from Grove. Back to Wells. Wells, Gillespie driving. Reverse layup, good by Gillespie. What a shot by Jacoby Gillespie. 46-35. Metz, Tincher in the corner, driving baseline, kicks it to Browder. Three from the left corner, no good. Fighting for the rebound, Jacoby Gillespie comes down with it. Behind the back dribble. Gillespie on right wing. Over to Dobyns. Dobyns to Grove. Grove on the block. Had it knocked away by Browder. Grabs it back, still working, and bounces it over here to Mark Halverson. Out of bounds. Just good defense on the block marked by the Indians.
Yeah, they just didn't give an inch and didn't go for the fakes this time. Get their feet on the ground. And actually, Grove threw it in the right spot. What you need to do is you need to have a three-point shooter in the diagonal wing, and there was nobody there except me, and I can't shoot worth anything.
I don't buy that. Gillespie to Hale into paint. Little jump hook by Hale over Satterfield is good.
Offensive play. They settled for 2 threes, corner threes, the previous 2 possessions. Get the ball down low and get a much-needed bucket to stop the momentum.
Wells over to Dobyns on right wing. Back to Gillespie. Top of the key. Jacoby Gillespie against Jonathan Gillespie. Lobs it over to Grove. Grove will shoot a three. He's made it. Second three-pointer by Grove. 48-38.
I wondered when they were going to come up with some pressure and change their defense. This 1-3-1 is kind of what they've attempted.
Hale lobs it back out here to Stump, goes over his head into backcourt, turnover on the try.
It resulted in the 2 corner 3 misses, and then they got the ball into position in the middle. The 1-3 zone, the trap, will leave the corners open. So if you get the ball, you got to put your shooters in those corners. And we missed 2, then we got the ball in the low block to Hale, and then the turnover there. So that defensive change by Coach Woolsey's paid dividends.
Grove has it working against Hale into paint, spinning, can't shoot. Back out to Price. Price guarded by Stump, who returned. Gillespie down low to Grove. Grove backing against Hale, spinning, shot no good. Grove fighting for the rebound. They're going to have a jump ball as Greg Allen and Ty Williams were tied up down there, and we'll stay with Dobyns Bennett. Physical play into paint with Grove and Dobyns Bennett not giving an inch. Price to inbounds for Greeneville. Price gets it down low to Satterfield, and he's fouled from behind on hack by Gillespie.
Yeah, they just kind of sealed Satterfield against Gillespie, a matchup disadvantage for the Tribe. Satterfield's pretty smart, headsy player. Not real flashy, but does a lot of things fundamentally well, and he sealed that position, was able to take the inbounds pass. And he's a pretty nifty shooter for sure.
Metz and Browder back in. Allen and Gillespie will go out for Dobyns Bennett. Satterfield. His team was down 14 a minute ago. 46-32. And now they're back within 8 at 48-40. Satterfield with 10 in the game now.
This little run has all turned because of this 1-3-1 trap.
Metz in the right corner.
See if the Indians can figure out how to break it.
Tried to lob it down to Browder, but no chance to get it through Grove, who stole it on the turnover. Satterfield working out top. Satterfield pulls up, shoots the three. That's going to bounce in, good for Satterfield. And just like that, it's down to 5.
One of the things he does a great job of is getting the ball online, something that shooters, I don't think, work hard enough on. Mechanics are important, but mechanics lead to getting the ball online. If you watch, he is never wide. He is always either short or long And if you're short or long, you got a chance to get the roll. And that's exactly what happened on that last one. He got the front end of the rim, kind of trickled over it. But what Reed Satterfield has always done, in my opinion, and is why he is such a really good shooter, is that the ball is right on line with that goal.
48-43, 30-second timeout taken there by Dobyns Bennett coach Chris Poole.
See if we get some point totals real quick. Speaking of Satterfield, he's got 13. Gillespie with 11. And Grove, who's kind of come alive, has 8. Make that 9.
Stump has it for Dobyns Bennett. We're back to action. Stump to Tincher on the curl over to Metz. They swing it to
back
Browder.
to the man-to-man. A little bit odd, I think, because that 1-3-1 has been pretty effective.
And Stump driving, had it knocked away on a steal from behind by Gillespie. Greenville's Gillespie has it. Gillespie to the foul line, over to Grove. Grove against Browder. Browder blocked his shot. Grove has it back. Kicks it back out here to Satterfield. Another 3, no good. Browder with the rebound. And Dobyns Bennett tried to get over to Stump on the left side, and it's thrown away. Turnover starting to pile up here for Dobyns Bennett.
They had 8 the first half. Now 4 already here in the third.
48-43, Dobyns Bennett still leads it. 2:03 to go here in the period.
Can't let the pressure of Greeneville speed you up. You gotta slow it down, get into your offensive sets, move without the ball. That's where they've been effective.
Gillespie spins against Tincher, takes it to the glass, good by Gillespie. 48-45. Stump to Browder. Browder, Hale. Turns, Hale into paint, triple team, shot good anyway.
They have no defense for him if he gets the ball down there. He's strong enough to be able to hold on to it. Contact's not going to affect the delivery of the shot, and he's very nifty.
Gillespie splits a double team out top, takes it down the left side of the lane, off the glass, good by Gillespie. 50-47. Stump has it back out top. Tincher in the left corner will shoot a 3 over Price, is good. Tincher knocks it down, 53-47.
Different shot than the one earlier. The other one was a little bit flatter. That one had a nice little soft arc to it. That's a big bucket for the Indians.
Gillespie around the screen shoots a 3, left it short. Rebound taken, however, by Price. Price with it. Between the rings, working against Stump. Still dribbling, now on the attack. Leaves it for Satterfield. Satterfield to the right elbow. Against Metz, leaves it back out top for Gillespie. Gillespie over to Price. Price Grove has it out front. He'll hand it back to Gillespie. Started to shoot a 3, now split the defense all the way through, goes to the left hand, shot good by Gillespie. He's got some ball skills, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does.
53-49, here's Metz for 3 from Stump. Left it short, over the backboard, no good. And it goes to Greeneville. Greeneville down 4. 11.6 seconds to go in the quarter. Wells comes in to throw it in. Gives it to Price. Price has it from Dabbs. Out front is Williams. Williams to Dabbs. Dabbs 2 seconds. 1 second. Dabbs forces the 17-footer is short. As in that set, they had taken Gillespie out for a quick break, Mark. And Greeneville takes that lead that Dobyns Bennett once had at 14 points down to 4. The score going to the fourth quarter, Dobyns Bennett 53 and Greeneville 49. (53-49). Malachi Hill in the basketball game. 18 points for Hill. I think that's right. Yep. 16 for Jonathan Gillespie, 10 for Metz. Tincher with 3, Browder with 4. I think that adds up. Jacoby Gillespie for Greeneville now up to 17. Satterfield with 13, Grove with 10. Jimmy Grove with 9. Dabbs with 7, Price 3. Greeneville brings back out Wells, Price, Dabbs, Satterfield, and Gillespie. Indians will counter with Hale, Browder, Tincher, Stump, and Gillespie. So 8 minutes to go. A good one here at the Buck Van Hustone. Stump leaves it with Browder. Browder over to Gillespie. Gillespie driving right behind the back dribble. Fadeaway 17-footer, no good. Rebound by Wells. Wells to Jacoby Gillespie. Gillespie leaves it with Dabbs. Dabbs over to Satterfield. Satterfield working against Browder. Out to Wells. He won't shoot from there. He'll get it back to Dabbs. Dabbs on right wing. Screen from Wells. Dabbs attacks to Wells. In the paint. Floater good by Wells. It's good basketball.
It is very good basketball. Very patient. Nice little pocket pass into that right side of the lane.
The other side, a blocking foul called on Greeneville. The lead is down to 2. Foul is on Bradley Wells, his second. Team foul on number 3 on Greeneville. Grove back in. Price takes a break. Browder in backcourt, it comes to Stump. 7 minutes to go in a 2-point game. Stump leaves it with Jonathan Gillespie. Back to Browder. Malachi Hale goes to work on Grove. Spinning on Grove. Shot no good, but draws a foul on Grove.
Tough angle there. That, we talk about sometimes shooting with the right hand. That play right there called for the left hand. If he gets it to the left hand, I think he makes it and draws the foul. That was a tough angle to get that ball to spin back into the rim. He has been dominant tonight. He really has. Worked hard, got in great position, and he's been so very efficient when we've gotten him the ball down low.
Free throw shooting haunted the Lady Indians, beginning to haunt the Indians as well.
Right now, they've missed 2 out of the last 3. 3 out of the last 4, actually.
Hale, his second shot. That one missed as well. Jacoby Gillespie rebounds for Greeneville. Chance to tie or take the lead. Gillespie. Over goes to Satterfield on a curl. Satterfield can't shoot. Dabbs driving. Foul line. Gets it over to Wells. Wells on the left baseline. Will lob it back out front to Satterfield. Satterfield hands it to Gillespie. Gillespie still being chased by Tincher. Driving. Over goes to Dabbs. Off the screen from Grove for 3. Banked it in. Dabbs banked it in, and Greeneville leads 54-53. Tincher to Gillespie. Browder on left wing. The Hale out top. Over it goes to Stump. Stump, Tincher. Swings it to Jonathan Gillespie. Hale has it out front. He's going to shoot a 3 and out. No good. Rebound Satterfield. Satterfield to Jacoby Gillespie. Gillespie. Back to Dabbs between the rings. Gillespie. Pull out 17-footer in out. No good. Rebound by Malachi Hale. Hale with it. Tincher left corner driving left baseline all the way through. Jonathan Gillespie a quick 3 from the right side. No good. Rebound Browder has it. Browder's shot no good. Rebound by Jacoby Gillespie. Quickly up the floor. Stump comes up with the steal for Dobyns Bennett. Tincher driving. Underneath, can't shoot. Back out to Gillespie. And Gillespie's fouled. On a reach from behind by Jacoby Gillespie. I think that's a tired foul. He just wanted, the clock to stop.
He wanted the clock to stop. And I think this is a good timeout here by Coach Woolden. He recognizes that his best player needs a little bit of a break. As we go down the stretch, he's going to be much needed, particularly in the offensive end. So pretty good timeout.
A full timeout at that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right, as it should be. It allow them to use the chair, sit down. So in a 30-second timeout, they're not allowed to sit.
Right.
They have to stand. That full timeout there. they're able to park it and get a little bit of a break. So 54-53 Greeneville.
Indians led this game 46-32, Mark.
And I thought the momentum changed there in the third quarter when they went to that 1-3-1 trap. Yeah. We took a couple of bad shots, some quick shots. And when we got the ball down low, we were effective. But that allowed them to kind of get some momentum. They made some shots in the turn, and that drew them back into it. And now a nice little run again, and they're holding a 1-point lead with the Indians having the ball. Side out, I believe, is where the ball will come in.
So following the timeout, 5:09 to go. Dobyns Bennett now down by 1. At 54-53. On the baseline, Dobyns Bennett will work it in. Metz to do the honors. Metz trying to get it to Hale. Instead, Browder in the left corner for 3, too strong. Browder will get his own rebound. Take it all the way to the glass. Good by Browder. And the Indians back on top. Jacoby Gillespie to Wells. Dabbs has it. Satterfield on the curl, working against Metz. 17-foot fall away, good by Satterfield. He just kind of leans in and creates enough space. There's a steal by Gillespie, taking all the way to the glass. No good, but a foul on Browder.
That's a really bad turnover right there by the Indians. The inbounds. Live ball turnovers, they turn into opportunities, and that's what happened. As the ball came into play, and Gillespie picks it, although he misses the front end of those 2 free throws.
Ty Williams back in for Greeneville.
You know, the Indians bench isn't very deep, so you have to wonder whether their fatigue is going to kick in with regard to being able to stay with Greeneville and guard them enough to get enough stops down the stretch.
Gillespie to Stump to Jonathan Gillespie for the Indians. Browder back to the basket against Grove. Driving baseline, can't shoot. Back to Jonathan Gillespie. Stump out front. Right side to Metz. Satterfield went for the steal, didn't get it. Metz to Stump for 3, top of the key. Good by Stump. His first field goal, but it's a big one.
Metz had that little short corner, but he decided to penetrate and get the open 3, and Stump rewarded him and knocked it down.
Browder with the steal, gives it to Stump. Stump's going to take it all the way down, layup, no good, but a foul called on the retreating Dabbs, but Browder knocked it away from Gillespie, then dove on the floor to save it and got it to Stump going the other way. Two shots coming for Brady Stump. 4:02 to go. Dobyns Bennett by 1. Stump's free throw crawls in.
He's 3 for 4 from the line. As you mentioned, his first bucket of the night. He's got 6.
Stump. Shot by Stump is good. Dobyns Bennett back out front by 3 now. 60-57. Dabbs has it for Greeneville. Dabbs with the count on, gets rid of it. Satterfield in the right corner. Satterfield's fall away 3 over Metz. Forced that one. Ty Williams, however, gets the rebound. He's called for an offensive foul.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a pretty good call. As he ripped down that rebound, Williams, he lowered that shoulder and buried it into Hale's chest. I think that's the right call. That's 17 turnovers now for Greeneville. And that's been kind of their Achilles. They've had some opportunities to kind of stretch the lead, and then just out of nowhere, a turnover occurs.
Gillespie to Hale. Had it knocked away by Williams out of bounds. It will stay with Dobyns Bennett. 3:31 to go. 60-57, Dobyns Bennett leading. Browder, and backcourt it goes to Metz. Metz. Driving left, Metz. Back to Gillespie on the curl. Over it goes to Stump. Stump Gets a screen from Hale out top. Double team, splits it, knocked down, and Greeneville comes up with their steal with Grove. There's Jacoby Gillespie to Grove. Thought about another three. We'll hand it back to Gillespie. Gillespie on left wing. Gillespie. Over it goes to Dabbs to Satterfield. Satterfield, ball on the floor. He tried to split a double team, and it's taken away by Metz, and Dobyns Bennett gets a timeout off the turnover.
Yeah, just too much dribbling by Satterfield. That's not his strength. Really kind of a catch and shoot guy. If you'll notice tonight, on the opportunities he's had where he's tried to create his own shot, he's struggled.
Yeah.
More of a guy that needs to come off the screen. They set a couple of baseline screens for him earlier that didn't work, but you could see what they were trying to do. But he's got a guy that needs some space. You can't give it to him because he'll knock him down. But right there, when he puts the ball on the floor, that's where he becomes vulnerable to the defensive pick. And really good defense there by Metz to come up with the steal. And then a real headsy timeout to keep the possession.
The Indians lead at 60-57 with the basketball.
18 turnovers now for Greeneville and 14 for the Indians. A stat that is, to me, way underrated. Never understood why so many coaches would tolerate turnovers. You know, basketball's a game of possessions and what you do with those possessions. And when you give them up, huge disadvantage.
Stump might have got away with the travel, turns and spins, shoots, doesn't speak with the rebound. Gillespie all the way down, missed the layup. Rebound by Jonathan Gillespie. Here come the Indians the other way. No numbers, and Gillespie will hold it up. 2:22 to go. Browder out front, working on Williams in the corner to Metz. Metz, pull-up shot over Satterfield, short. Nobody blocked him out. Metz will get the rebound. Browder into paint, shot good by Browder.
He got hit on the arm there too, I thought.
And it's 62-57 Indians. Dabbs, and it's knocked away by a Stump, but right back to Dabbs. Under 2 minutes to go.
Good deflection there by Stump. Gillespie was wide open over there inside the three-point line.
Dabbs, give and go with Grove. Grove back out to Williams. Williams walked. Not his game.
No. But you know what? That's as much a passer's fault as it is his fault, because you got to recognize who your player is that you're passing to. And Williams was just way too far away from the basket, even though he was wide open.
Williams will go out.
It brought back this 1-3-1 trap, I believe.
Browder in the corner to Gillespie. Back to Browder. Browder attacking the paint all the way down. Missed the layup. Tipped by Hale is good. 64-57. Indians by 7. Dabbs fakes to three. Going to drive. Floater in the lane off the glass. No good. Tip by Gillespie. Good. And a timeout by Greeneville. Nobody checked him, Mark, and he came all the way from the left side, all the way through the lane.
He was the one who made the cross-court pass to Dabbs, who went diagonal right wing. And then Gillespie went diagonal left wing and was able to get the putback.
64-59. That stopped the 9-0 run by Dobyns Bennett. They had trailed at 57-55 and scored 9 straight to take the 7-point lead. They still lead it by 5.
Game of interest for you Tennessee fans. Tennessee beat USC upstate rather handily, 96-52. John Fulkerson with a good night, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Sends the Vols to 8-2 record so far. And since I was kind enough to read that score, I'll also read that Carolina beat Furman 74-61. See how I worked that in there?
Yeah, very kind of you. I'm not fooled a bit. Gillespie with it. Cross-court pass, it goes to Metz, back to Stump. Stump in the paint, over to Gillespie. He's going to shoot a three, no good. Browder comes in, tips it, can't get it to go, but gets a foul call.
What a headsy play by Browder to recognize that it was going to be short off the miss by Gillespie from the left wing. And he just couldn't quite corral it strongly enough to control it into the rim. But makes the first of 2. Boy, Hale and Browder have kind of made some plays down the stretch here that have been critical off the offensive glass. Hale with a putback in the last possession, and now Browder.
Browder makes them both. 59.3 seconds to go. The lead is back to 7. Jacoby Gillespie for Greeneville. Jacoby Gillespie still dribbling. 50 seconds. Now he's going to launch a 25-footer. No good. Rebound. Tillery for Greeneville comes up with it. Back to Satterfield. Satterfield trying to create a shot. Back to Tillery. Gillespie. 38 seconds to go. He'll shoot another 3. It's no good. Browder seals for the rebound for Dobyns Bennett over to Stump. Stump trapped in backcourt. Gets rid of it to Metz. 28 seconds to go. Metz and a timeout. Dobyns Bennett. Wisely called by Coach Chris Poore.
Yeah, it's the right call by Coach Poore, but I'm not a fan of the rule that allows a coach to bail out a player in the backcourt. I think that needs to come from the floor as it is. I think it's in the college game, certainly in the NBA game. It's just a part of teaching and understanding where you are and what's going on, but that's a good timeout, taking advantage of the rule by Coach Poore. 7-point Indian lead. Been a really good game. This has been a fun game to watch. 2 good teams, 2 well-coached teams, a couple of great players on the floor.
That's what you're going to get Friday night when Science Hill comes. That's what you're going to get next week for those 8 games in that Alpha Invitational.
Yeah, if you're looking to see good high school basketball, you need to be in the Dome the next 10 days because you're going to see it. And then you got the Arby's a couple of weeks later. I know a lot of people talk about how difficult it is to come and watch Upper East Tennessee basketball. Well, there's no excuse over the next 10 days. And then we got it right here in the Buck Van Hus Dome. And you and I got front row seats. How about that?
Front row, baby.
How about that?
Blessed to have front row seats. Jack Browder will work it in for Dobyns Bennett. His team up. It's a 3-possession game with 27.2 seconds to go. Browder gets it to Metz. Metz in backcourt. Here comes the trap. Metz still dribbling, and finally a foul called on Tillery. So Carter Metz will walk 90 feet to shoot free throws. 4th foul on Tillery. 9 team fouls on Greeneville. Gillespie out, Tincher in for Dobyns Bennett.
Well, they've checked Gillespie pretty good. He's 8 for 14 inside the arc, and he's 1 for 5 outside. I mean, you're not going to stop him, but you can slow him down. And I think the Indians, they got into him physically, and I think that was the difference. Metz makes the first of 2. Athletic guys generally want to be in rhythm. They want to be in flow. And if you can take that away with physicality without fouling, that's going to be the way you stop those types of players. And the Indians did a good job of that. Tincher on him, Stump a little bit, even Gillespie some. Metz makes both.
68-59. Dabbs on right wing. Going to pull up and shoot a long 3, and he nearly banked in another one. Gillespie, however, comes in unchecked again and knocks home the offensive rebound to make it 68-61. Gillespie has 5, 13, 22.
18, 21, 22. That's right. One with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Really athletic kid. You can see where some skills need to be refined a little bit at the next level, but the foundation is there to have a really nice next level career for Jacoby Gillespie. No question about it.
Going to Belmont.
And I don't know if he'll play point there. If he does, ball skills may need to be improved a little bit. But when you can get up like he can and create your own shot like he can, that's a huge advantage when you're at the next level.
Of course, he's got football offers from Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt as well.
Wow. I guess is he a receiver or a corner?
He's a receiver, yeah.
Well, you can just look at him and say he's probably going, he's going to be a guy that can run the 40 pretty quickly.
Faster than me. Nearly got the steal there. 13.6 seconds to go. Indians by 7. 68-61. Browder inbounds to Metz. Metz in backcourt. Metz takes the foul with 10.9 seconds to go. And this will be the double bonus for Carter Metz.
One of the things I think we haven't spoken about this enough is one of the things that the Indians did a great job was taking the catch and shoot away from Satterfield. They made him work for his shots, and that's not where he really creates opportunities. He is more of a guy that, like, when Gillespie is crashing the rim, looking to score, that he can get into those passing lanes and get into a catch and shoot situation. He didn't have many good looks tonight, and that's a tribute to the Coach Poor's strategy of keeping a body on him and not helping on his side, and that forced him to get a shot off the dribble, and that makes it tougher for him.
Metz makes them both, and the lead is back to 9 at 70-61. Dabbs pulls up, shoots a long 3. That one is short, and goes out of bounds off Greeneville to Dobyns Bennett with 3.8 seconds to go. So Dobyns Bennett inbounds to Stump down 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's going to do it. As Dobyns Bennett knocks off defending state AA state champion Greeneville by the count of 70-61. Dobyns Bennett wins it 70-61. Got out to the big 14-point lead, weathered a Greeneville comeback that netted the Green Devils the lead, but they came back, a big 9-0 run there midway through the fourth quarter, pushed the lead back out to 7, and Greeneville unable to make enough shots down the stretch. And Dobyns Bennett comes away with a 9-point victory over the Green Devils. We'll see the Green Devils again. Green Devils will be in the Alpha Invitational next week. They'll be in the Arby's Classic the week after Christmas. Of course, we'll not be matched up with against them in either event, but we will go to Greeneville later in the season for a rematch down in Hal Hinner Gymnasium. Dobyns Bennett wins it 70-61 over the Devils. Hope you enjoyed it here on the Dobyns Bennett Indian live stream on YouTube. And Coach Chris Port will be here already. Mark, we'll go ahead and start with him. I'm on it. I'm on it because my radio thing didn't work, but the live stream did. So Coach Chris Port joined us here courtside. He's all choked up after this win. Coach, great game by your team. Brought off to the good start. Really defended, I thought, Jacoby Gillespie with some physical defense by McKinley Tincher. And our Gillespie really stepped up in that first half as well.
Well, I was really pleased with our effort coming in. Really thought Jonathan did a good job early, trying to frustrate him to get the basketball and making everything hard on him. Really liked the way that McKinley came in. That's one of my favorite defenders because he's gritty and chippy, and he's a little bit more physical. And I thought they did a tremendous job all night. We switched with different guys at times, but they carried a large portion of that burden.
You also did a good job on Satterfield because you didn't want him to get open looks from 3. You really made him work for his shots. He's more proficient catching it in rhythm and shooting than he is off the dribble.
Well, they're a good basketball team. They've got great pieces. Satterfield's one of them, and if you leave him for a half a second, you're going to pay. And so a focus coming in was not to let him get loose. I think he got loose with 1 or 2 of them right there where we didn't really get a good hand up. But that happens at times. You're trying to put so much attention on Gillespie that happens. So I was really pleased with our focus going in with a defensive scheme and then be able to capitalize a little bit on offense too.
Malachi Hale just really came to play again, first half especially. I mean, he was outstanding. He wasn't backing down defensively. He got a lot of rebounds, a lot of scoring in the paint. He just brings it every night.
Malachi's a beast. What you see out there with him scoring and making plays, and that's half of it. The other half is he's the one defending the rim, guarding everybody on the floor. So just a tremendous effort from him, and well-deserved credit. And I thought Jonathan helped us in the first half make some shots too, which helps. So I was glad to see shots go down for him.
You got the big 14-point lead. They kind of switched up, went to kind of a 1-3-1 look.
Yep.
You turned it over, got in a little bit of hurry, and they got back in the game. What did you do there to kind of weather that storm? They got the lead, but you were able to come back with a 9-0 run in the fourth quarter.
Well, we've seen them throw that in spots in different games, and I thought they would do it at a certain time. I didn't think it would give us much of a problem, but we didn't move the ball very well.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like we were just trying to make the one pass instead of just move the ball. And once we called a timeout and we kind of settled down, Malachi, we found him in the middle a few times on that. We were able to get inside-out shots. McKinley made a shot, and we were able to get more movement. And that really helped loosen it up.
Yeah. Down the stretch, you got a lot of key offensive rebounds. Jack got a couple that really helped you out. And I know your bench isn't as deep maybe as you want it to be, and you got to carefully manage the minutes. But I didn't think our guys really got fatigued. Maybe those offensive boards were more fatigued on their side than there was your side.
Well, I felt better about it, you know, with those guys giving us a few minutes here and there. I was on Jack hard defensively to try to get him rolling, you know, trying to get his mind off of trying to score. And you know, I thought he did some good things there late, made some really, really big plays.
Yeah.
So for him, it's just an engagement, and he's a really nice player.
Yeah.
So putting him in those spots, he can get the job done too.
Well, it's a big win over the defending state champion club.
Well, they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. They're exactly what they are. They're tough, they're gritty, and they find out how to win these games. And being able to beat a team like this in this environment is pretty good. It's a good sign.
Their Gillespie had 22, I think, but he had to work for him.
Yeah, well, that was the goal. And he's going to score.
Yeah.
But I felt like the only thing he got easy was there in the third quarter. He got to the rim, and we did a poor job there. But other than that, I was pleased.
Yeah, good job. All right, Coach. Great basketball here tonight. We're going to have some more great basketball here next week. Starting on Monday. We're actually on Friday against Science Hill. I don't want to overlook that, but you know, it took a long time to get in the dome, but man, it's going to be fun here the next few days.
I'll tell you what, it's the best basketball in this little stretch that you could find. So I would come out and watch it. It's going to be entertaining.
Outstanding. All right, appreciate you, Coach.
Go Trap.
Absolutely. Coach Chris Poor's comments after tonight's game, and Mark, I thought he was right on the money. Right on the money, talking about McKinley's defense, Jonathan's defense early, what Malachi did, and also how Gillespie complimented Malachi by making some shots on the outside and just opens everything up. And then, of course, the 1-3-1 defense that they went to that got them back in the game and how we weathered that. And it's a good team win. I mean, it's just, you look at the scoring, you'll talk about in a minute, but just 9 in and 9 out. This team's putting 4 guys in double figures almost every game.
Well, and we knew that coming in. We knew that one of their strengths was going to be their spread on their offense and how they're going to share the ball and have so many weapons that can score from so many spots on the floor. You can't defend them.
Yeah.
That's a really good basketball team over in Greeneville.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they struggled trying to find a defensive scheme that was going to shut down the Indians, who have all the guys on the floor can score. You don't see that at this level. I mean, if you notice what we did, we tried to shut down Satterfield. We did a good job. They only really had 2.5 guys that could get the ball really in the hoop consistently.
Right.
I mean, that's high school basketball. That's not seen very often over there on the other side. And they're going to be a load to defend all year long. And as they get better and more comfortable with the system and are more willing to share the ball and not try to feel like they have to do it individually, this team is going to get really, really good. And they play hard defensively. They guard the ball out front. They did a good job. They forced Gillespie into some situations where it was really tough. I mean, he made some shots, but because he's really good. But our defense, I thought, was very, very good on him. So really good win for the Indians. All right, for the numbers, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. 13 for 30 inside the arc with the Green Devils. 10 for 21 outside. Total of 23 for 51. After the first half, they had 30, 19 in the third, 12 in the fourth. That's 61. They were 5 for 8 from the line. Total of 27 rebounds on 15 defensive, 9 offensive, and 3 team. 19 turnovers. And that's what I'm talking about, the defensive pressure that we employed throughout, particularly on the top, forced a bunch of those. Scoring leaders for the Green Devils, 22 for Gillespie, 15 for Satterfield, 10 from Dabbs, 9 from Grove, 3 from Price, and 2 from Wells. Rebounding edge went to Gillespie with 8, 5 for Dabbs, and that's really about it for the Green Devils. Total of 61. Those that are interested in what Gillespie did shooting-wise, he was 9 for 15 inside the arc, 1 for 5 outside, and 1 for 2 from the line. For the Indians, total of 70. They had 37 at the half, 16 in the third, 17 in the fourth, total of 70. They were 19 for 31 on the inside, 7 for 15 from the three-point line. And one of the things that I really believe in this team is if they will attack the rim and not look to shoot the threes like they did a little bit too much last year, 15 attempts, I'll take that all year long. 31 attempts inside the arc, that's going to be tough basketball to defend because you got guys like Browder, Hale, even Metz who can pull up, Gillespie at times. They did a really good job. So that's 26 for 46 overall, 11 for 15 from the line, total of 14 turnovers, 11 defensive rebounds, 8 offensive, 3 team, total of 22. Leading scores, 20 points by Hale. I mean, you can't get any more efficient than what he was. 7 for 9 inside the arc, 2 for 3 from 3, 8 rebounds, 16 points for Gillespie, 14 for Metz. And Gillespie had 14 in the first half, and that was really kind of what got us off on the run a little bit. 7 by Stump, 3 by Tincher. I mentioned Browder with 10. And Tincher, not a lot in the scoring totals, but his defense, I think it gave Gillespie a night that he didn't really want to, that gave him fits because he didn't give him any space. And that physicality, as we talked about, I think is a real advantage that we offer. So those are the totals for the night: 70 for the Indians, 61 for the Green Devils. Indians moved to 6-3, and I believe the Green Devils are now 5-3. Is that right?
5-3.
5-3.
Indians are 7-3.
7-3. I'm sorry.
Yep. Coach
And
Chris Poor's 99th win here at Dobyns Bennett.
Okay.
By the way, absolutely 6th all time now, moving him ahead of my friend Coach Shipley.
Wow.
There you go. All right, that'll do it here from the Buck Van Hustone. Appreciate the folks here at Dobyns Bennett having us on the live stream tonight. And don't forget, Dobyns Bennett will be back here against Science Hill. Boys action only on Friday night at 7:30. And then next week in the Alpha Invitational, Dobyns Bennett games on Monday and Tuesday night against opponents, South Atlanta on one and Lexington on South Carolina on the other. And those games are at 8 o'clock. And then on Thursday, the 23rd, doubleheader, Gate City here on Thursday, the 23rd. That's the afternoon contest. The Lady Blue Devils and the Lady Indians at 3, and the boys' game will be at 4:30, all here at the Buck Van Hustone. Hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate all the technical help upstairs. For Mark Halverson, Steve Wimmer saying so long from the Buck Van Hustone. We've been watching Dobyns Bennett Indian basketball right here on the Dobyns Bennett live stream on YouTube. Good night, everyone.